Hello everyone, welcome to the Peak Politics Podcast. This will be episode number 4, August 1st, 2020. We're going to be going over the events of the last week of July. Primarily what happened, last Monday to Friday. We don't really give a crap about the weekends. So, that's going to include, mainly in this podcast, if you're interested, it's going to include some of the Barr testimony. It's going to include, what else? What else do you think is going to be good for this week?
So,
there are a number of topics, but
more AOC craziness. The big tech, or some of the big tech CEOs testifying to Congress.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix going full on propaganda. Some more mail-in ballots bullshit. More Joe Biden, because you can never have enough Joe Biden.
Yep.
The NFL going running all the way to the left. Ted Cruz doing some more awesome shit, as he tends to do from week to week.
I have an NFL joke.
Well, okay. We'll save it for when we get there.
Okay.
Trump flirting with the idea of delaying the election, which obviously we'll talk about that for sure. And then Trump taking out that old Obama-Biden housing rule, the new stimulus bill, which it doesn't seem has been approved yet, so I don't know if that's going to get approved before their recess.
No, we're just going to talk about the contents.
Yeah. So, and then more Epstein files were unsealed the other night, with the thanks to a journalist. I can't remember his name, but we'll talk about that.
His suicide will be reported tomorrow, so we'll have more on that. But I'm just kidding.
Yep.
I hope I'm kidding. I hope that ends up being a joke. Not prophetic in any way.
Right. No. And then the deaths of John Lewis and Herman Cain being politicized, extremely by the left. And then SpaceX crew, and I guess they're returning.
Yep, that's big news because that was a huge story when they launched, but the real mission was to get them back home. So that is something I'm going to go into detail greatly with.
Right. All right. And then the last one is the rioters at Portland left a decapitated pig in front of on fire in front of the courthouse. In front of the courthouse. So,
yep.
Which is pretty disgusting, and we'll talk about that.
So that's those are for today, and we're gonna. Oh, by the way, that's gonna be our new thing. We're gonna try and lay out what we talk about because sometimes when we don't do that, we miss things.
Yeah.
Also, you may have noticed. Well, that's not your normal 10 topics, and last week was only 5. This is going to be about a 3-hour podcast, ideally. Last week we had to cut it short just because of what we were doing. So this should hopefully make up for that.
Yeah, and if we don't quite make it to 3 hours, then we'll record some more extra content or something
something maybe, to get a nice even 3.
We might be able to. It just sort of depends on how quickly we go through things, and if we don't, then we could record an episode where we just record, or we can just make memes or something, because our Twitter is a little dry.
It is a little dry. All right. So. Before we get too far off topic, like I said, today is the August 1st of 2020, meaning that it is a new month. So at the top of every month, or at least that's going to be the goal moving forward, at the top of every month, there's going to be a gun of the month.
Yup.
Ideally from our personal collections. Wyatt is not currently in a position to have a large personal collection, whereas I sort of already do. So a lot of them will come from my personal collection, and that includes this one today, which is a L.C. Smith double-barreled 20 gauge. Now, some of you may not know what an L.C. Smith shotgun is, and that's fine. They're not exactly common use. But this is sort of turn-of-the-century, 1900s technology. This is a double-barrel shotgun, hammerless. And this particular one was made in 1913 by Hunter Arms up in New York. It came into my family through my great-grandfather on my stepdad's side, who won this shotgun for going to Sunday school every Sunday for a year. So that's how I ended up with this. My stepfather gave it to me. And it is an extremely old gun, 107 years old. And action still works like butter, though. I mean, listen to this. It's smooth. Lockup's tight. It's pretty good.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah. But that right there, at the time that was produced, that was the height of luxury shotguns. I mean, they are phenomenal. I think that one right there, even its condition, it's got some dings and some damage to the stock. Got a lot of heavy use between my stepfather and my grandfather, or great-grandfather. So, even that one in that condition, I think, is like, depends on where you're going, but I was seeing like $1,600 for one of those. They're pretty nice guns, and they're not really in circulation anymore. I don't know if anyone's making L.C. Smith shotguns. But, yeah, at the time, the L.C. Smith design was pretty phenomenal. So, that's gun of the month. Hopefully we'll be able to bring you some more exotic and interesting firearms as we go on.
Yep.
All right, I think that wraps up my little bit. Support the NRA.
Yeah.
And gun rights and all that good stuff. That's the reason we do that gun of the month thing, is to keep interest in the fact that there are active attempts to whittle away your rights. So, and nothing is more important than the Second Amendment. None of the amendments matter anywhere near as much as the second.
Agreed.
That's the security for literally all of them.
Yep. It's what lets you protect all of your rights. That's what it was made for.
All right, I think we're ready to launch into the topics. Wyatt, do you want to take us? You want to take it away?
Yep. All right. So, like I said, or like we said in the intro, the first topic is more AOC, because we can't get enough of her. Never, because she constantly says stupid thing after stupid thing. It's so consistent. Like, at least once a month she says something stupid. So you can definitely look for that in the future. As long as she's in Congress and saying stupid stuff, we're going to keep talking about her, because she really is what is becoming the mainstream of the Democrat Party. Like, especially when it comes to the younger crowd of Democrats, at least in the party.
Well, I think, and this was pretty solidified. You'll remember, was it last year, whenever it was, COVID's been such a doozy. I don't know what time is anymore.
Yeah.
But you'll remember not that long ago that Nancy Pelosi, AOC, and AOC's little squad were having a bit of a turf war for the Democratic platform, more or less, because they're sort of I guess you put Pelosi in sort of like a neoliberal, sort of like corporate, Democrat sort of style, where she's just, trying to help her. She's just basically shilling out to corporations, or not even just corporations, but interest, right? She's being paid off for certain interests, yada, 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 and trying to expand the power of the government so she can have more power, obviously. Whereas AOC's brand of the Democrat Party is more like, it's similar in the whole, expanding the power of the party, but it's more of like an authoritarian socialism, And
exactly,
the Democrat Party at the time, right now, is not really totally on board with socialism. They kind of like the modified capitalism, where you add a bunch of socialist crap, but they still like the capitalism thing.
Yep.
And so, well, specifically, they like the crony capitalism thing. And so there was a bit of some infighting there regarding certain policy. And you'll remember that Trump at the time told all four of the congressmen to go back to their home countries. It was pretty bad. It was not like a good tweet.
Not really.
On the face of it. However, I would say I'm in this group of people that speculates that it was, conspiracy theorists, me and the rest of us, I guess, that it was purely strategy. That was actual 4D chess. Because you will notice that the second he did that, two things were accomplished. One, Nancy Pelosi had to defend them. So now they are de facto the Democrat Party, AOC.
Yep.
So Nancy Pelosi now has to be on board with them, because if she's not, she's racist. Because they called her racist. Like, AOC called her racist when she was fighting against them. So she can't. So Nancy Pelosi's getting a taste of her own medicine in that respect. And then,
for sure.
The other thing it accomplished was that, so aside from unifying putting the Democrats under the AOC banner, making sure everyone knew that was the party, not Nancy Pelosi. And so that's one thing it accomplished. You also notice he made at the time, I can't remember what the change was, but a significant change to immigration policy at the time. And no one was talking about it, because his tweets were so outrageous.
Yep.
So, and then he went through and he explained what he did. Like, I think in a Twitter thread, he explained why he did what he did. It would just basically laid out what we just laid out. And so it was pretty interesting, put it lightly. But the reason that's important is that back then, he made Pelosi choose. Am I going to side with them, or am I going to side with, my own interest? And she didn't really have much of a choice but to side with the AOC base if she wants to keep up the whole, everything Trump says is bad persona she built.
Yep.
So the interesting thing about that is there you can actually pretty much, almost to the day, figure out when AOC took complete control of that party.
Yep. 100%.
But yeah, don't doubt it. No questions. She is the future of that party. Absolutely. There's just no way to avoid it.
Yep.
All right. I'm done with my tangent.
Yeah. So the first thing about AOC is that I guess it was over the weekend. One of the other senators, who I assume is a Republican, Representative Yoho, which is a great name, by the way.
He's Asian, Wyatt. Don't be a racist.
I know, but that's still a great name. I'm not being racist. I'm just saying that's a cool ass name. That's all I'm saying.
Racist.
How's that racist?
It is because I said it was.
Is it racist? Is it racist for somebody to come up to me and tell me that they like my last name?
Well, it depends.
Because it's white?
Well, it depends.
Okay.
Are they white?
I don't know. I mean, I get told it all the time by people of several different races.
Are any of them white?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, tell me if you do, and I'll tell you if it's racist or not.
Okay.
I am the arbiter of all moral truth, Wyatt.
Apparently so.
Apparently
so.
All
right, so according to AOC, out of nowhere, Yoho came up to her and put his finger in her face and flew off in a rage. He started going off about shootings and bread and nonsense, calling her crazy, shameful, and out of her mind. And so that's what she said. And then apparently he also said she was out of her frickin' mind. And apparently after that exchange, he called her an effing B.
I don't know why we're censoring that. This is our podcast.
Because I don't say either of those words.
As he was walking away, he called her a fucking bitch.
There you go. Thank you, Andrew.
Like, they're just words, right? It's okay.
Alright. I'm still going to say. Anyways, and she went on about, it's because I'm a woman, blah, blah, blah.
Maybe it's because you're a fucking bitch.
Exactly. Maybe it's because he was right. He is... Or not he. You are a crazy person, AOC. You do not know what the hell you're talking about. You really are a crazy person. Like, your mind does not work like normal human beings. I assume that she was dropped on the head as a baby. I'm just gonna assume that. I think it's a safe assumption. And then he also apologized with, and I really don't. I don't think he should have apologized.
Well, he didn't necessarily apologize.
Well, he said, I rise to apologize for the abrupt manner of the conversation I had with my colleague from New York, Yoho said Wednesday morning, and then he also denied that he said the profanity. And then she recommented, or not recommented, but she commented and said that she didn't accept his apology, or didn't accept his apology, and it wasn't an actual apology, blah blah blah. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say other than he's correct.
That's hilarious. I wish it would happen more often.
Oh yeah,
bring back bullying, man. Kids that deserve to get bullied should get bullied.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like,
if you're doing
something absolutely retarded and disgusting, expect to get commentary. You fucking bitch.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, this is not a complicated... I mean, your policies that she proposes are batshit crazy and almost certainly going to lead to the deaths of millions of people. So it's like, why can't I call you a fucking bitch? Unbelievable, man.
Yep, 100%. Alright, yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. At least for that one for AOC. Alright, so the next thing for AOC, now she's now calling for military recruitment in like high schools to be canceled, to be outright nope, no more. Do you want to go first on this, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's just read this. Read the details here. And
Okay.
she's introduced a pair of amendments to a defense appropriations bill that would bar the military from using funding to maintain a recruiting presence in U.S. schools or on digital streaming platforms such as Twitch. So now the military can't be on Twitch. Because that makes sense.
At least not in a recruiting.
Yeah, but I mean,
sense.
like, that's... Wow. Anyway, so... I guess... Because her point here, she says that effectively low-income people are targeted for enlistment, right? And
Yeah.
I agree with that, but what she neglects to tell you is that low-income people really get a lot out of that. I mean,
Oh yeah.
if you couldn't afford college, you couldn't afford to take on that sort of debt. I mean, you name it. You know, if you couldn't really maybe you couldn't get a good job in the area you were in. I mean, it's actually a really good service, actually.
Oh yeah. And I can speak on that as well. In a minute, whenever you're done.
Yeah, and so much of what the military does is non-combat. I mean, we're not saying just go pick up poor people so we can, ship them to the front lines and have them die. That's not the point of the military recruiting. The point of the military recruiting is just to have people that staff the military. Not all of that's combat. A lot of it's not. Wyatt was not. Wasn't fucking ground troops. I mean, you did paperwork for fuck's sake. I mean, there's a lot of shit that has to get done in that organization. It has nothing to do with I guess killing poor people. I guess must be the way she sees it. I don't know how else you can get around this. Like, how the f do you think a job with the military is a problem? Like, she must. First of all, she didn't understand the military. Let's put it that way. Like, that's obvious.
Oh yeah, no, she definitely does not have.
But I mean, and this is the thing. I think the thing that really, when initially I saw the story that pissed me off about this was the fact that this is the woman that insists you should have college for free.
Yep.
Okay, you want free college, government provided free college. Well, I can give you government provided free college if you sign up for the military.
Exactly.
This is one of those programs that provides government paid for free college.
Yep, and it's not even just while or like after you get out that you get it. While you're in, they pay tuition assistance in full, like 100% everything. And I think the only exception I think is books. I think, and they might even actually pay for that, like depending on which program you're doing it through.
But so, yeah, you get considerable financial assistance to go to school. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's an amazing opportunity, and it's like any school you want. They don't limit you at all.
Exactly.
Like if it's like an approved school, right? Like if it can get, if it's approved for like federal student loans, any school that can meet that standard, you can go to basically with the GI Bill.
Yep.
Which is like every school. So.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, as a personal story, I went to a tech school in Dallas, and at that tech school, automotive, CNC, welding, HVAC. And at that school, just in my class, which was CNC machining, I knew about 4 people out of 12 that were using the GI Bill. And then I knew in other classes another about 9 or 10 people that were on the GI Bill, right? And those were people who were not exactly middle-aged, but late 20s to late 30s kind of, a lot of them. Some of them even in their 40s, who had gotten out of the military and I guess wanted to further their education so they could go and I guess make a better living. And I suppose the reason they were there as opposed to college is college is like a 4-year thing for a good degree, whereas in tech school it's a 9-month thing for something good. So that's where a lot of them were. They wanted to get in and out really quick and good paying jobs. I'm still in contact with like 6 of those people, and they've all met that requirement, right? Went to a good tech school, got their certifications, went on. Every single bit of that was paid for by the military. Every single bit. They don't have to pay anything for that.
Yeah.
And you want to take away that opportunity from people? Like, how much of an ass are you? Like, really? It's disgusting, because those people, a lot of them I knew, did come from low-income situations. Most of them were minority, just so you know. I mean, like, almost all of them were Hispanic or black. Almost all of them. With the exception of, like, 2. And funny enough, one of them that wasn't the exception, the one white guy, was a welder for ExxonMobil who was making like $40 an hour at the time. He was not hurting for money. He only went back because they said if he uses GI benefits to get this extra certification, they give him another $7 raise if he was willing to run a lathe, right? And since he had GI Bill, he had it however much left, he did. And then he went on to a gunsmithing school because he still had another year left on it. And so this dude had every opportunity. This guy was working a full-time job and doing full-time school. A real go-getter. And at every turn, when he wanted to further his education, this GI Bill was there for him. I mean, it's insanely useful. And he'd done a great job using it. He'd really gotten quite far. I mean, I think he's probably earning $50 an hour now doing lathe and welding work. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Yeah, he's doing awesome. It's and I keep in contact with him too. Very funny dude. But, that's the sort of opportunity the military affords you. If you go into the military, that is the sort of opportunity you can expect. Definitely. Why is she so hell-bent on getting that out of low-income communities? And I'll tell you why I think it is. I think there's one of two reasons. She's either legitimately that stupid, or she's disgusting malicious because she wants to remove some of the only opportunities low-income areas have, so that they will become even further dependent on government. Because she'd cut the military budget and spend it on welfare, right? So all those kids who were going to go get an opportunity, going to lead a promising life, going to get a fulfilling job, buy a house, move into the middle class, people who are going to actually fucking enjoy being alive, she wants to strip that away. She can put you on government assistance so you'll vote for her forever while you ponder whether or not to kill yourself because your life sucks so goddamn much. I mean, that is what she'd rather you do.
Yep.
Either she's that evil, or she's at least that stupid. And it's insanely infuriating. Because I personally know people that benefited greatly from that program. And it's just really insulting.
Yeah, it definitely is. And that's sorry, I don't want to step on your...
And they're taking it out of high schools, right? That's the thing. She wanted to take it out of high schools.
Yeah.
Low-income areas have bad enough high schools as is. But if you are required to be at that school, if their attendance is something they give a crap about, and for a fact a lot of low-income people are going to be at that school, maybe not taking school seriously or whatever, but this opportunity shows up. Because, again, this is a place where the kids are required to be. Public education, right? So you can guarantee that U.S. students know about this. The reason they do this in schools is so, first of all, it's the right age, high school seniors.
Yep.
And it's also because it guarantees that they will understand it's an option.
Exactly.
So you are making it harder for these people to understand that this is an option. And again, she's not advocating to remove recruitment from the military, period. She's just saying that we should make it, put a barrier to entry, basically, put it that way. She's saying it should become harder to understand that this is an option. Which is really effectively what she's doing, whether she wants to admit that or not. And again, personal experience. I had a guy in high school come through for Marines, and very, very informative. Little pamphlets handed out, just talked to us for an hour, knew his crap. I wouldn't have known. There's a lot of stuff I wouldn't have known if he hadn't done that.
Yeah.
It's actually a good service. So, I don't know, man. I'm just pissed about it. It's stupid. There's no angle I can see that's there's no angle from which I can see that being a good thing.
Yeah.
Even from a left-wing perspective, the military is a good deal because it gives you free college.
Yeah.
So even from the Democrats' perspective, you would think this would be good. Unless, of course, you realize that this opportunity allows you to move forward in life. It allows you to have opportunities, to grow yourself as a human being, to become better situated financially. It makes you more independent. It makes it to where you can be a functioning human being. And functioning human beings don't vote for Democrats. So that's a real problem for them. They can't handle someone that knows what the F they're doing. No. That is not a situation they particularly enjoy. They would rather you be ignorant and suffering and thinking the government is the one to solve all your problems. But I guess I would imagine that you going through the military, I'd imagine you have a good understanding that government is not the solution to your problems.
Yeah, exactly. I have first-hand experience knowing that a lot of people in the government that are doing their government jobs, they're garbage, and that is correct in the military as well, because there's so many people they don't do their jobs the way they should, and that's rampant throughout.
It's interesting because on the right you'll see arguments like this, but we're like, oh, the military is the one good government thing. You get the Republicans, not even necessarily conservatives, but Republicans, right? Who are very pro-military. And I had a conversation with some people I know that are super pro-military, that had gone through the military and whatnot, a long time ago. And it's I tried to explain to them from your experience, some stuff you told me, some stuff my other friends told me. It's no, it actually sucks. These are government employees. They're terrible.
Yeah.
And,
now,
some of us on the right haven't quite come to terms with the fact that the military is still government run.
Yeah.
There are some problems there.
Yeah, it definitely is. And if you're through with your point, I can jump into mine. Or
oh no, yeah, go for it, man. I'm good.
Okay, so continuing there, and then I'll shift more back to talking specifically about AOC. So, trust me, I may not have liked my job in the military, but as a general, in general, I really liked how structured it was. It was great, and I'm not saying there weren't amazing people. I've met so many amazing people thanks to the military.
Yeah, you can find amazing people in all fields, but my point was just the fact that government work does not inspire creativity or motivation. You're going to get paid no matter what you do, damn near.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really hard to get effed up, you know.
Yeah,
and the military maybe not as much as other government jobs, but I mean, you know.
But so I'm talking about specifically the aspects of the military that are more paperwork based, that are really really close to those regular government jobs.
Well, even stuff like just in generic stuff, right? Like Marine guy told me he was in the armory, said that most other guys didn't know how to do anything with guns before they got there, and that they sucked at cleaning them. People in the army didn't do a really good job of preparing them or cleaning them, or did terrible paperwork too. And he was the only one that actually knew how to clean them, but even he sucked at the paperwork. And that basically everyone got away with that standard, unless you couldn't pass PT.
Yeah.
So that the only thing they cared about was that you passed PT, and then you're good to go. I was like, really?
That sounds about right.
Is that how the Marines run?
And
he's like,
that's
basically.
Marines?
Yeah, he said it was Marines, and he was in the armory.
Yeah,
so
that sounds about right.
And I was like, wow, that's
that doesn't surprise me.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Our armory professionals can't handle a freaking AR. Now, again, I'm not saying they couldn't. He just said they sucked at doing a lot of the repairs, basically. It was his complaint. And he's like, and he came from a family where he really knew a lot about guns. And so he's like, oh yeah, I spotted a mile away. These military people don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my God.
What?
Wyatt, we forgot to put about the fact. Did we talk about this?
What?
Okay, guys, bonus topic. We'll add it at the end of the video. In St. Louis, not St. Louis, sorry, Louisville. Oh yeah, I think Louisville. Yeah, Louisville, Kentucky. Black militia from the NFAC black militiaman, negligently discharged his AR-15, shot himself and 2 others.
Oh,
I
didn't hear about that.
Oh my God, it is hilarious. I will link a video. There's a video. Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off, but you need to hear this. There was a video released by one of the leaders of the NFAC, which, by the way, stands for the Not Fucking Around Coalition, except for, of course, we're shooting our friends. But and so the Not Fucking Around Coalition, one of the leaders did a video on the AR trying to explain how this might have happened. And he pulls up the AR-15 and he goes, now this here is a bull pup because it kicks like hell. There's so many things wrong with that. So Wyatt, do you know what a bullpup is? With the definition?
I don't know the definition.
Okay, for our audience, for Wyatt, a bullpup traditionally is going to be a rifle where the action of the gun, everything that's all the movie bits, are behind the trigger. So you've seen the FALs, not the FAL. You've seen the FAMAS, you've seen the AUGs, you've seen the RDBs from Kel-Tec. Basically, the magazine goes behind the trigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you've seen that set up in a rifle. That's a bullpup. But what that really means is that instead of an AR-15 setup or pick a rifle, that the action of the gun, the receiver of the gun, is actually right next to your shoulder. It's right there. And that way the gun is overall shorter, but maintains the same length of barrel, right?
Yeah.
So that's the advantage of a bullpup. Now, for a gun to be a bullpup, basically everything important has to be behind the trigger. All of it. Every single bit of the gun, except for literally the end of the barrel, basically.
Yeah.
Is behind the trigger. Look at your AR-15 and tell me, is the bolt behind the trigger?
No.
Or is it in front of the damn trigger?
It's in front of the damn trigger.
So how in the actual F is an AR-15 a bullpup? The answer is, it's not.
It's not.
It's not a bullpup.
It's impossible.
And then he says, because it kicks like hell.
Yeah.
2 things wrong with that. The amount of kick that a rifle generates has nothing to do with what type of rifle it is.
No.
Literally none.
None.
Like, the type of rifle is defined by the action, okay?
Yeah.
Second, when was the last time your AR kicked like hell, Wyatt?
Never.
Exactly! And he's like, this is my first weapon. I bought this back in the 1990s. You bought an AR back in the 1990s and you haven't figured out that 30 years that it's not a goddamn bullpup?
Yeah.
And you're leading a black militia. It's an all-black militia.
Mm-hmm.
That is terrifying, sir. That is terrifying. And then the audacity of this bitch. Okay? So, you know how when you lock the bolt back, that is the bolt catch, right? You know, the little bolt. Yeah. And how if you were to slam the rifle down on the ground, slam the stock of the gun on the ground, the bolt would kind of, because of inertia, recess further into the buffer tube, right?
Yep.
And as a result, if you did not have an empty magazine in, and the follower was not pushing on the bolt catch would release. It would fall down.
Yeah.
So if you take a gun in a lockback, where the bolt has been locked back, and you have no magazine in it, and you bump it on the ground, the bolt will go home.
Yep.
It'll go forward. He said that if you do that while there is a round in there, or a magazine, right, loaded magazine, when the bolt closes, the gun fires. That would make it a machine gun, sir.
Oh my god.
If it fired upon closing, that would make it an open bolt machine gun.
Yeah. So I
idiot.
tried to sigh, but the mic didn't pick it up.
I'll do it for you. Oh my god.
Thank you.
So
what the hell is this person smoking?
Crystal meth, as far as I can tell.
Apparently, but usually that's white.
Dude, I swear to God, we'll link the video. It is astounding.
Jeez.
And he goes, so, if you do that, and it's in the bolt home like that, if you bump it, it's in the bolt home.
Yeah.
When the bolt closes, if you're holding the rifle like this, and he's holding it basically like beneath his chin, more or less, he's holding the rifle up and down, you will blow your head off. No, you fucking won't. Because you didn't pull the trigger. The hammer does not drop when the bolt closes. Now, I can make it do that with a simple 3D printed insert, but that's illegal.
Right, exactly.
But the point is, that is not how an AR-15 operates.
No, it's not.
Unless it wouldn't even operate that way if it was in full auto. That would only be the case if the trigger was depressed in a full auto mode. But if you were not touching the trigger, that gun, basically, put it this way, if you do not have your finger on the trigger, that AR does not go off. So let's clear this up. First of all, not a bullpup. Second, doesn't kick. Third, bullpups are not defined by whether or not they kick. Fourth, no, the bolt closing does nothing. It just locks the action. It just locks the freaking bolt. It does not do anything else.
No.
And fifth, if you do that, if you send the bolt home and it picks up a round, when it does that, it does not fire the gun. Because if it did, every single time you, for example, right, you put a magazine in, you pull back the charging handle, and you let go of the charging handle, what happens?
What do you mean?
So you put a magazine in, a fresh magazine, and you pull back the charging handle and you let it go. What happens?
Sends the bolt forward.
What does that do? Exactly. Does it go off the second that the bolt closes?
Hold on. Let me emphasize this. No.
Never.
Does not do
Your gun
that.
is broken. Your firing pin is stuck in your bolt face if that's happening.
Yeah.
You need to get help. Professional help.
Yeah.
Or a rubber mallet, you goddamn idiot. Anyway.
Alright.
So I just wanted to go over that for all of you, for everyone else in the audience that's a gun owner and understands how stupid that is. Please comment how stupid that is.
Yeah, please do so. Okay, so now we can go back to AOC.
Christ, it's not a bullpup or an open bolt machine gun. What the F?
Yeah, pretty bad. Alright, anyways, going back to our what we were talking about before, you could have just posted the link and then we could have talked about it later, but it's fine. It's all good now. Anyways, so back to what we were talking about. AOC wanting to get rid of military recruitment and I'm just going to talk about the high school specifically stuff.
Yeah, man, go for it. I've been rambling. So
yeah, so this is terrible on so many levels. Like, as a Democrat, that your ideology is focused on the low-income families. So, if you actually want to help those families, why would you take that? Like, usually those low-income schools already have limited options as is. Why would you take away a viable option that is very, very helpful to a lot of people? To most people who go into the military, it's a really good opportunity for them. And like Andrew said, it provides free college, not just after you get out, but while you're in. Like, there is a cap, but there's a good amount of
well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah,
if you don't use your GI Bill, you can pass it on to your kids, correct?
That's correct. So
this is like one of the things where your family is permanently better off no matter what you do with that. You will have it's a no-brainer, man.
It is.
If you have no other options in your life, it's amazing.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it was for me. I mean, I'm sure I could have gone to college. My SAT scores were okay. My grades were fine in high school, but I didn't really apply for college because I wanted to go into the military. What?
I just tested it, and I can confirm that does not blow your head off.
Oh, good.
And it's also not a pull up.
Yeah. All right. But like, I don't understand how she can sit there on her freaking high horse in the house and be like, oh yeah, let's take away yet another resource for the low income families. Yeah, let's make it to where, you know, it'll drain the military force to where we don't have as many people who are usually turn out to be really awesome at doing whatever their job is. Excuse me. Like, I may have started to somewhat rip on it, but that's actually not the majority of the military. Majority of the military are hardworking people that are really good at their jobs. It's a small minority that makes everybody else look bad.
Okay, I'm not gonna go that far.
Well, I will.
Employees and whatnot.
I have more experience when it comes to the military than you do. So.
But I've heard more stories.
Yeah, because
from people that I trust.
Yeah, well, don't you trust me?
Including you, who you told me
your
specifically. Best friend. Okay, listen, Wyatt. Let's be clear here. You're not my best friend. You're my gay. You're my gay lover, and you know it. So
no,
we don't have to be private about this anymore.
Hold on. Let's
you have personally told me some extreme horror stories.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
But there's also a lot of good stuff that.
Listen, there are good people generally in a lot of places.
Yeah.
It's a government-run institution. There's red tape, bureaucracy, and failure at every freaking step. It's in abundance. Okay. I'm just gonna put it that way.
Anyways. Put that down. But in general, the military is a good thing because it provides a career for a career path to those who don't actually have one starting out. And the thing is you're not locked into that. You don't have to stay in for 20 years like some people do. I got out after 4. I just got out.
Yeah, that's standard, man. You get your 4 years in, and you get your 4 years of college. Like, it's pretty good.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who do that, and now, you know, once I am able to get a job, you know, I'm gonna be good. You know, I got, and it's not just, you know, steady payment. You're a steady job for 4 years. You know, there are so many things that you can do while you're in. Like, there's a whole bunch of traveling you can do.
Okay, we're not here to suck the military's dick too hard. The point is, it's a good opportunity, and she's ridiculous.
Well, let me drive it home. All right. So there's a whole bunch of shit you can do. You know, obviously school, which it will pay for, and you can pursue any degree that you want, any one that you want. Now they push for one that's related to your job. But you don't have to do that. You can travel, dude. There are so many like times when I could have that I've seen friends, they've gotten cheap airline tickets through an agency on base, where tickets to Japan, you know, Europe, Australia, you know, all those places were less than $100, and it's not on really garbage airlines. They're actually fairly good, and it's, you know, like I said, pretty damn cheap, and so it's pretty nice. I never took advantage of that, but it's mostly just because I kind of just didn't want to go anywhere. because I was an antisocial weeb. But yeah, there's just so many different opportunities that you can that the military offers. So why would you take that option away from people? Why would you do that? And it ties back into what you were saying. I do not think she's stupid. I think that she's being malicious. I really do.
Because to be fair to her, she's not taking away the opportunity. She's just making it harder for kids to know that it's there.
I'm doing a little bit of...
It's really subversive, but I mean...
Yeah.
To be fair to her, that may be her ultimate goal is to get rid of military recruitment, but I mean, that's at the moment. No. Yeah,
but they're at the very least, she's, making their resources more scarce. By trying to take away the fact that it's readily available, which, like we said, it's just freaking awful. It's really bad, and it just blows my mind, man. Like how
it doesn't really blow my mind because I mean she's the one that freaking put the Green New Deal forward. So I mean, like
that's true. I guess it doesn't blow my mind too much, but it's just really aggravating because I have a personal tie to the military. And I have a lot of respect and love for the military. Despite me, wanting to separate, I still have.
I have no love or respect for the military, but it is objectively speaking a good opportunity.
Right.
Fuck the military.
I'm not going to say that because I disagree with that.
Fuck the police.
All right. So, anyways, I think we've hammered this nail in far enough. So, yeah, do you want to move on to the next topic?
No.
No.
I have one more thing to say about AOC being stupid.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
This is a long list. This has been a long tradition, rather, with AOC, of which we have compiled a considerable list, of her being absolutely retarded. I mean, I would love to believe that this is evil on her part because it just fits my narrative better.
Yeah.
But there is a real possibility that I can see of this just being her, standard stupidity. Just regular, generic, low IQ crap she spits. Where she actually might believe this crap. I mean, she looks stupid enough to believe it. Have you seen her stare at anything for any long periods of time? I mean, she's insanely retarded. But...
yeah.
And again, I mean, the weird thing with AOC is kind of like Bernie. It's like on certain issues, she can actually make good points because she spent the last, 10 years reading the same essay 3 or 4 times, a week. So she's got a few points that she knows how to make. Mm-hmm. On so many things, she's just terrible. Really doesn't know what she's talking about. And my issue with this bill primarily came down to the fact that she specifically said this is the military targeting low-income people. Yes. Yes. The military is an opportunity to better yourself. Of course, they're going to low-income people and saying, hey, listen, if you want to get out of this, we will provide you a way to do that.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's the freaking point, you idiot. Jesus, man. God, wow. Unbelievable. Yeah. Okay, that was topic 1.
Yep, that was topic 1, guys.
I want to go ahead and wrap up a few of these things real quick. Let's see if we can... Let's go out of order, because Bill Barr, we gotta talk a while about Bill Barr, but let's go ahead and see if we can jump to maybe the next 3 real quick and get them out of the way. Let's talk about the big tech real quick, just while we're here. Yeah. So AOC, Elizabeth Warren, they've railed against big tech. This is one of those areas where there's some bipartisan agreement that they're not great.
Yeah.
But specifically what we want to talk about is the fact that they have these guys testifying. Head of Google, Amazon,
Facebook and Apple.
Facebook and Apple, yep. And of those people there, when they got them into a room and asked, are the Chinese stealing our technology, right?
Yep.
Only one of them could answer honestly. And you may be able to guess who that was if you've been following the news. And this is a general trend for him where he is coming out more and more on the right side of things. The idea, and I think Ben Shapiro discussed it in one of his podcasts recently, the idea that all big companies are made alike is not true. I mean, some of these companies are obviously disgusting, whereas Facebook is not so obviously bad. I mean, with Facebook, I'd actually be willing to believe the idea that it was individuals inside Facebook that are doing crappy things, as opposed to from the top down. And you'll notice that, for example, again, back to Ben Shapiro, he's talking about, because we mean with Twitter and with Google, specifically when we talk about those companies, we mean that they censor conservatives. Whereas Facebook, it seems like they were definitely doing that, but we don't know if they were doing it on purpose. Like, we don't know if that was like a top-down order, or if that was individuals within Facebook. And I'd be way more willing or more sympathetic to the idea that it was individuals. Whereas with Twitter, it seems top-down to me. With Google, it's obviously top-down. But with Facebook, I could actually believe it wasn't top-down, and that's because Mark Zuckerberg is consistently on the side of free speech. Like, when you ask him, he's very, very consistent about this. You know? And you look at things like the Daily Wire, Crowder, you know, those people on Facebook who actually do really good on Facebook.
Oh,
They get reasonable numbers on
Ben.
Facebook. Yeah, Ben does.
Ben gets so many hits on Facebook.
And so that right there tells you that they're not doing a ton to stop his traffic, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that Facebook has been consistently better than a lot of the other platforms. However, they've still had their problems. But Wyatt, would you like to tell them how that little hearing went down?
So essentially, and not all of them were there. I think some of them were there, and then some of them weren't. They had some of them there via, I guess, Skype or Zoom.
Yeah.
And basically, they asked each one of them if they had seen any evidence of the Chinese government, or I don't know if they said the Chinese government, but
basically,
I'm pretty sure they said the Chinese government, of them interfering with their technologies, stealing their technologies, and not a single one of them, excluding Facebook, said yes. They all said, well,
they gave a very legal answer.
Yeah, they're
well,
like,
I have no direct knowledge of that.
Yeah, I have no direct knowledge of them doing so with my company's technology. And then, boom, Mark Zuckerberg comes in when they ask him that question,
I'm surprised
and he's like,
no one else will admit it. Like, yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's been pretty clear from what we've seen that.
I think he said he was surprised, right?
This.
Didn't he actually say he was surprised? And was that just look on his face?
It was on his face.
Okay, it was either implied or said, but I think with him it was implied. You know, but the general takeaway from some of the articles I read was that he was shocked that no one would admit to it. That everyone was like, well, no, not that I know of, and he's like, yeah.
He's like, it's pretty clear that they've been doing that. Like, he said it's extremely clear that they've been doing that for sure. And yeah, and then another thing that's actually that's funny. Is that whenever they asked Jeff Bezos, he was muted, and it took him a minute to realize he was muted.
Yeah.
I think that's just the funniest thing. The head of Amazon didn't realize he was muted.
Okay, but to be totally fair, that can happen to anyone.
Yeah, but again,
it'd be funnier if it was the head of Apple.
I guess. It's still pretty funny.
Personally, I don't really care about that. Some people on the right found that funnier than I did. What I found funny is his lukewarm answer, like where he's like, it's like, well, I've heard of that happening, but I don't know about it at Amazon.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well,
all of them gave that.
No.
Or at least the second half. They all gave the second half. They were like, oh, we don't have direct knowledge of that.
Yeah, exactly. They said we have no knowledge of that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, well, I have knowledge of it, but not direct. I don't know about it at my company, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, I've heard stories about that, but at my company, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, that's a real answer. Like, for me, like that could be, like, now Facebook, I don't know if he knows personally, Zuckerberg personally knows that information's been taken, or, technology been stolen. With Amazon, I don't know either. I don't know if they've really gone out of their way to steal anything from Amazon, the Chinese. But at least Bezos' answer was a lot more honest. It felt like it was. He's like, I've heard stories of that, but I don't know of anything like that happening in my company. It's like, okay, well, that...
Or at least it seems to be. But I still think he's lying.
Well, that I could believe. No, I could actually believe that, where he's like...
I could, but I don't.
I could believe this idea that I've heard the stories, but my company, no. What are you going to steal from Amazon? Their shipping routes? Well, those are in the U.S., so good fracking luck.
I don't know.
Well, I'd say that, but they're a worldwide company, obviously. But,
yeah.
Generally speaking, like, what are you going to steal from Amazon as far as technology goes?
What AI, people are buying? Yeah, AI.
Well, no, that's product. That isn't Amazon made. Amazon's a shipping company. What are you going to steal from Amazon in terms of technology? Aside from AI, aside from maybe some niche thing, right? So where he's saying, I have no knowledge of that, like, okay, I could believe that. I could believe that the CEO has no knowledge of, like, really, really minute things happening in China.
Yeah.
Whereas Facebook CEO, he said, again, and Zuckerberg seems, generally speaking, more attuned to what's going on in the world, just generally. You know what I mean? And so his answer was like, yeah, he was like pretty crystal clear. It's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, you got direct knowledge of this crap. But again, Jeff Bezos' answer didn't strike me anywhere near as. This is where, again, maybe I'm trying to defend Amazon because I like Amazon, but
yeah,
this is one of those things where his answer was considerably better than the other like two.
Yeah,
Google
it was.
or Apple.
I agree with that.
And Google and Apple, like, I have no knowledge of that happening in my company. And he's like, well, I've heard stories of it happening, yeah, for sure. But in my company, no, I don't know. It's like, okay, well, you know what? That's actually way more fucking honest than anyone else except for Zuckerberg. And if Zuckerberg is your gold standard for honesty, whoo, you're in trouble.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I don't know. I'm starting to like Zuckerberg more. He's quickly becoming my favorite lizard.
Yeah, he's definitely my favorite lizard. He's not even quickly becoming. He already is my favorite.
My favorite lizard is Bill Clinton, but
no, Bill Clinton is my favorite anything. But we'll get to that. And
he's my favorite child rapist.
No, I don't have a no. That's Hisoka.
He's not a child rapist though.
I mean, have you seen the way he looks at Gon?
We're seriously going to talk anime on a political podcast.
Yes, we are.
Well, I'm not, so conversation's over. But
okay.
Yeah, my favorite real life child rapist. Yeah, I mean, okay. Put in the comments who's your favorite child rapist.
Oh God.
I mean, Jeffrey Epstein's definitely a close number 2 because that picture of George W. Bush was phenomenal. But
yeah,
no, Bill Clinton's like. I mean, I just feel like him like I feel about Trump. It's like, okay, yeah, he's an awful human being in his personal life, you know. Of course, he's way worse than Trump, obviously, you know.
Well,
but,
yeah.
But
you know, rape people.
That charisma, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Wow, he's charismatic. I can't help but.
Yeah.
I mean, his bitch of a wife is not like fuck Hillary, but.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just can't hate Bill the same way that I hate Hillary. I can't bring myself, even though he's probably way worse.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a few. All right. Anyways, moving on. So, which one did you want to look at next?
Let's hit number 4, Netflix. All right,
Netflix.
this is gonna be a brief one. Okay,
yeah.
guys. I don't really know how to put this into words, but transgenderism is stupid and completely unfounded. No basis in science.
No,
and
none.
I'm sick of having it shoved in my face like, this is normal. Like, you watch a TV show and they're like, oh, you watch like a modern TV show and they're like, oh, my transgender friend or whatever. Like on one of those really left-wing, whatever particular genre you happen to be watching, but like one of those really left-wing shows. Like, you know how they used to do with gays? Where like, in Glee or all this other, it's like, oh, just insert gay person because those people are everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Like with the gays, it was moderately believable.
Yeah.
Like, because they're not everywhere per se, but like they're also a way higher number than trannies. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But now that we're getting this shoved in our face, because this is what Netflix did, they're trying to shove this in our face, and they're also doing it in the most ascientific way possible.
Yep.
It's just kind of annoying.
Yeah, and
like,
so
it doesn't make for good television to piss everyone off in your audience.
No.
To make it so obvious that you're condescending, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And to explain to everybody who doesn't know what happened, so apparently the show, not apparently, but the show Babysitters Club, they released a clip. I don't know if the episode was released, but they released a clip on their Twitter, and basically there are these 2 children who are in a hospital room. One of them, the one who's sick, is a transgender female, so a male to female, and
he's a cross-dresser.
Yeah, and then
but
the nurse and doctor,
it's not hot.
Yeah, so the doctor and nurse come in and call the transgender a boy, and then hand him a blue gown, and then the kid gets what?
I shall only refer to them now as she-males.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to refer to them as their actual biological pronoun, which is correct.
Well, not you're referring to them as transgenders, but I'm calling them she-males because
I started it. Started it that way, and then I started saying he.
Okay, I'm calling it a she-male because it's good enough for Pornhub. It's good enough for me. Okay. All right, you can proceed.
Anyways, so Then they handed a blue gown to him, and his friend is a I assume a quote unquote cisgendered female, so just a regular female, and
regular titties.
Yep. Well, I wouldn't say that because she's a child, so I didn't really pay attention to that, Andrew.
You know what? I haven't seen the clip. Okay, I read the article. I'm done pretending that I actually give a shit.
You should have watched the clip.
No, I shouldn't have because it's disgusting and I wasn't interested.
Well, yeah, but if we're gonna talk about it, we should at least.
I read the article.
Okay.
That's enough.
So, okay, whatever. So, anyways, then his friend says to the doctor, or they come in and then they address them as him, as they should because they're a doctor. And they're like, oh, I heard a little somebody's not feeling well, and then they call him he, all that stuff, and then the friend gets all huffy and puffy, or at least kind of huffy and puffy.
Do we have to go play-by-play, Wyatt? It's taking a lot of time.
Yeah, I do. And then he asks to talk to the nurse and doctor, and then she scolds them for not using the correct pronouns. And she said, if you were to look at her and not at her chart, you would see that you're really hurting her feelings. And it's like, gee, kid, it's a good thing we weren't coming, or they weren't going in there to tell him that he had testicular cancer. Like,
the joke was funnier in your head, Wyatt.
I don't care. I had to make it, but no, like it's just full on propaganda. Like, it's craziness. It's crazy. Anything else, Andrew?
Nope. Pretty propaganda.
Yeah.
It's not exactly complicated.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, a lot of things propaganda, but this is just really this could almost be black propaganda. Actually, this could almost be like something that the right wing released to make fun of the left.
Maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean? It could be like basically parody.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
That's the thing with like Antifa. It's hard to know what's real and what's like what's black propaganda, where it's like it's obviously the right writing stuff to be like inflammatory. Like Tina McGarth, like on Twitter, or Titania McGarth, whatever it is.
I don't know who that is.
It's this dude, but he set up like a SJW female profile where he just says the most ridiculous things that you could kind of sort of believe the left would say.
Yeah.
But it's basically black propaganda because it's obviously it's a parody account, but a lot of people don't know that. So they're like, oh my god. So you get a lot of right-wing people in the comments going, oh my god, I can't believe you're this stupid, libtard. And it's basically black propaganda.
That's funny.
You know what black propaganda is, right? Like, term.
Yeah.
Okay, as defined by Tim Pool, where I get all my news from. I'm just kidding, but I do like Tim Pool.
Yeah, no, Tim Pool's great.
He describes it as, and I'd say Merriam-Webster agrees. Basically, you release propaganda, you are of the opposition, and you write something for the opposition that is so ridiculous it makes your party hate them more.
Yeah.
So, it basically scarecrows their arguments.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, let's go on to mail-in ballots. This is a short little story, but a really interesting one because we've been talking about this now for a month. This whole idea of mail-in ballots.
I think our first episode we talked about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's been on the table for a little bit. People talking about how bad mail-in ballots are, and everyone's like, "No, they're great. They're great." Well, I say everyone, all the Democrats, like, they're awesome. They're amazing. So, we had, thankfully, a volunteer dumbass journalist, basically. We're going to prove that mail-in voting is amazing. We're going to send these 100 fake ballots. Like, first of all, if you can fake ballots and make them look really good, you're undercutting your argument. Just want you to know that.
Yeah.
Second, we're going to send those out, and we'll send them to this P.O. box. We'll send them all over Philadelphia to this P.O. box to simulate X, Y, and Z. To simulate, all the election crap. And I think they outright lost three of them, and then the rest of them took forever to trickle in.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this is really bad.
Yeah.
So at a minimum, you lose 3% of the vote, just gone.
Yeah.
That could be an election, for sure.
Here it says, 21% hadn't, materialized after 4 days.
Yeah, so basically, you're late. You when you do that, and Trump's like, we should postpone the election. Well, this would be a great way to do it. You will end up with, like, how many, God knows how long behind schedule, trying to do this crap.
Yeah.
If they're doing it the way they did it, if their simulation's accurate. But even if it's not accurate, it's a very simple model they tried in one city, and for a while they didn't have like 21% of the vote.
Yeah.
Like the day they were supposed to go and actually collect them, they have like what, like 3, 4? Mm-hmm. Like it. It's bad, man. It's bad.
Yeah.
And it's just a little. We left a link for it. I was in the description, but it's a little experiment they ran, and it just didn't go well.
Yeah, it didn't.
And at every turn, this is a weird thing with the mail-in voting. It's like, this has been pretty well documented, that in small numbers, mail-in voting is like kind of hard to tamper with, because it's like, well, who's doing it, yada, yada, yada. But like, there have been cases with mail-in voter fraud. Like, that's not really all that surprising. What did we have in New Jersey, like a while ago, like 20% of an entire election got thrown out? All the votes, because they couldn't prove they were legit, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty bad, man. Like, it's a bad system. It's always been a bad system, and it's weird that we're being gaslit now to believe that it was ever good. It's like, but it obviously wasn't. It obviously isn't. Yeah. So when you're being told, we can just do mail-in ballots for the election, no, you
absolutely
can't.
Not.
And here's my problem with it, right? They're going to be like, when they lose the election with mail-in ballots, which is entirely possible, they're going to be like, oh my God, Trump tweeted about how they could be tampered with. He cheated.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like, in 5 fracking seconds, it'll be like, hey, why did he let us do this? We've known for years he's unreliable. Man, it's like the second they lose, it'll become, oh my God, these were bad. They were always bad. How can we let the Republicans do this? It's like,
that's definitely what's going to happen whenever they lose.
They're going to retcon history so bad.
Yep.
Like, we are begging you for a fair election. We are on our knees. Please, for the love of God, let this election be fair. And they're like,
yep,
no.
Yeah.
And then they're going to bitch about how it didn't turn out
in our favor instead of theirs. They're going to be like, why did you do that? Why did you let us do that? You knew it was bad.
This is the Eric Andre meme where, like, Democrats shoot themselves, like, shoot the guy on the couch with, like, mail-in voter fraud. And it's, most of the fraud is in Republicans' favor. Why would Republicans do this? It's like, well, you're the ones that did it.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's been examples of Republicans, you committing voter fraud with mail-in ballots. Like, it's dude, everyone does it. Anyone can do it.
Does it.
So don't let it. How about we don't let anyone do it?
Exactly.
What if we just didn't allow anyone to cheat with mail-in ballots?
Yep. Exactly.
Simple solution.
That way, it's a fair election, as it should be.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is like, going to the polls, it's so dangerous, it's so terrible, it's the worst, it's awful. We could never do it. It's like, okay, well then you need to explain to me how you went to the polls during flu.
Yep.
Because that was a disease too, which was seasonal.
Yeah.
I mean, no, just this idea that, because of intersickness, we can't go to the polls. Like, I'm fairly certain we can.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can.
Like, what I would do is I would just dedicate, I would put some government resources into just opening more areas for polling, like try and triple it, the average number of polling areas, and then just set limits on the number of people allowed in per hour. And then maybe add an additional week till early voting.
I'd say that's a good idea.
You know what I mean? Like, just try and, it may be a slightly slower moving process, but let them go do it in person. And try and do all the social distancing the best you can. Like, I know nothing's perfect, but for the love of God, can we stop pretending that this COVID thing is so detrimental that we can't go and vote for the next president?
Oh yeah, no, that's stupid. Especially considering considering at that
well, this
that
one
funeral
of the
other day.
Oh yeah, funerals holding funerals like that when no one else is allowed to. It's like, you clearly don't think COVID's a problem. But this is one of those things where I would actually love to see it backfire. Where after months, like damn near a year straight of, well, more like 9 months of COVID's terrible, it's the worst, you're gonna die, it's Trump's fault, never leave your home. Comes election day, and the only people that show up to vote are Republicans. Like, there's maybe 20% of Democrats show up. And it's like, well, why did we lose? How did that happen? It's like, well, because you told everyone in your constituency to fear something that you shouldn't have been afraid of.
Yep.
Like you always do. You use fear tactics, except this time the fear was going outside your home. You made them afraid of going outside their home. Of course they didn't go fucking vote.
Yeah.
So now you're making them weigh 3 things. Our love for Joe Biden, not a thing. There's no enthusiasm for Joe Biden. Our hatred of Trump, which is a thing, but not as much of a motivator as you might think. And our fear of COVID.
Yep.
So putting the fact that people aren't enthusiastic for Biden, and that COVID's a problem, and that Trump hatred is kind of last year really. I mean, a lot of people are over it.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time believing you're going to get the voter turnout you want.
Yep.
Sorry. I think Republicans will have a record voter turnout. They're like, oh yeah, after this last year, we will do everything in our power to keep this guy in office.
Yeah, I definitely
every legitimate thing. We won't cheat.
We're going to. I think we're going to break records as far as Republicans showing.
I'm really enthusiastic because there's for two reasons. One, incumbent president. You know, he's going to get his second term. I totally believe that. You know, just obvious, right? Secondly, you look at Europe and how they did a record like flip towards conservative. Like the biggest victory for conservatives in over 100 years in England.
Yep.
So you see that sort of stuff, and we mirror their political movements. You know, they did Brexit, and then we did Trump. I mean, we mirror their crap. So I'm pumped to see what's about to happen. Like, I am so ready for November, man. Bring it on, man. Just let's fill the Senate and fill the House, and just bunch of good Republicans up in there that actually know what they're doing. My only concern is how many people we're going to elect that we just, because you vote straight Republican on the ticket. A lot of us will, and I probably will to a decent extent, except for on the local level. On the local level, we'll see what I do. But
for sure.
I want to make sure we get a good quality of Republicans in there. It'd be nice. But regardless, I feel very good about it. I feel that we're going to be doing pretty good come November. You know.
Yeah. I
also expect that after the convention and after everything, I expect that once Biden is officially nominee and the VP is picked, he's fucked.
Oh
Game
yeah,
over,
which we can actually move into talking about that because that is the next thing is Biden.
Yep.
So at a I'm not sure what this was, like a benefit or a rally, but he went somewhere for a speech, and he said, "Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Kingswood Community Center." And then he said, "Oh, actually, that's the one down where I used to work. That's a joke. I didn't know where we were." So,
yeah, it's not a joke.
Yeah, it's definitely not a joke. Yeah, he's clearly still declining.
I mean, he's already a joke, but that wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
You know, just more of the same of what we've talked about. And then, so now, that was just a quick mention, but so apparently we're gonna get his VP pick next week. Yeah,
that's gonna change the math on who you're voting for sure.
It really will, especially if it's Kamala, like
Politico people messed up. Run from that. Oh my god.
Yes, they will. And
not Democrats. So I think a lot of Democrats will go for it, but a ton of independents are gonna be like, hell no.
No.
Mrs. uses slave labor based on BS marijuana claims and doesn't let prisons off death row knowing full well they're innocent. No. Hell no.
Yep. And also, on top of everything, that disgusting
evil
laugh.
Having bitch.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
But did you hear about Politico?
Yeah, you mentioned this, that they accidentally said, "Oh, Kamala VP," but like that, it seemed like they knew too much.
Yeah.
So and then, there's reason to believe she will be the VP.
Yeah, there's good reason because, like, usually, whenever something like that is written, like, and they said it was just like filler text, but it wasn't. It was specific to Kamala, and it was worded exactly how they would market it, like market her being his VP choice. So I think it actually is going to be Kamala, and I think they just dropped the ball.
That or they we'll spill the beans. You mean that or they they're really hoping they actually believe that.
Yeah.
At the very least, they believe it. At the very worst, they know it.
Yeah. So but I definitely think it's going to be Kamala. I don't really think anyone else has the same national recognition as
Susan
Kamala.
Rice.
At least he's being
Susan Rice.
I don't think she's as known as Kamala Harris.
No, she was Obama administration though. She has that going for her.
I guess.
Joe Biden, it makes sense.
I guess, but not really many people know about her. I didn't know about her until her name came up, in the discussion.
Dude, really? She's been involved in the Russia scandal for years, man. We've talked about her for years. All the crap she did.
I wasn't paying attention for most of that.
Okay, well,
I only caught the tail end of the Russian investigation stuff, or the Russia stuff. But yeah,
dude, that shit was bonkers. The Russia stuff. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like that alone is the reason why I'll never put an Obama official back into office. Like, you know, I had to deal with this because of you.
Yeah. And I have even more reasons than that, especially with these Epstein documents, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. But anyways, so yeah, no, I think it's going to be Kamala, and if that's the case, dude, Trump is going to have a field day. Like,
well, he's just going to bitch slap her.
Oh yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great, especially when he's debating Biden. Oh my God, I would pay if I had the money. I would pay so much money to be able to go and watch that debate and him just freaking start smacking Biden over the face several times about how much of a mistake he made by appointing Kamala as his VP. Like,
well, the Hunter Biden stuff's going to come again, but I mean, what I'm most interested in is seeing Pence just like beat the ever-loving crap out of Kamala.
Oh yeah, he will.
I mean, he's gonna pimp slap her harder than that dude she slept with to get her first job.
Wow, 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 wow. Got him.
Yeah, my chair creak.
Good shit. But yeah.
Anyway, that was kind of the highlight of my week, actually. The idea we might have a Kamala Biden ticket.
Oh yeah, dude. Let's freaking go.
Crazy and demented, the best ticket you've ever seen.
Yep. that would make me so happy though. Like, for real.
And then he's just gonna, like, I mean, Trump and Pence are gonna be like, hey, didn't you call Biden racist?
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't you explicitly say he wants to deny black little girls educational opportunities?
Because you kind of did.
Because you kind of almost word for word said that.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Maybe if you weren't such a crazy cunt, you'd be in a better position.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fucked, man. Like, I think that would be a terrible choice. Frankly, Biden's best choice was to choose a moderate, and he boxed himself out of that. He's explicitly said he won't do that. So.
Yeah. So he kind of screwed himself there.
Yep. Next topic.
All right, the NFL running all the way to the radical left and caving. Okay. Yep. Go ahead, drop it.
All right. It's pick your quarter and pick your scores. But Colin Kaepernick, leading receiver, there he goes, running as far as he can to the radical left. He throws it and intercepted.
There you go.
Intercepted by the meme-generating right, who is going to just absolutely dunk on these fucking fools.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Well, not dunk, because you don't dunk in football, but you get the point. I mean, we're going to slap them silly, dude. Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
That was my sports joke, was Colin Kaepernick being a bad quarterback and the NFL letting him do it to their detriment.
He totally was. He totally was. He was awful. There's a reason he was benched before, like, all of that controversy even happened. He was benched before that because he's freaking garbage. He's garbage. He was benched for Blaine Gabbert, who's also a bad quarterback, but he's not as bad as Colin was.
Well, the thing is, like, he was perfectly fine when he first started, but he was sorry. One-hit wonder, man.
Oh, yeah.
One-hit wonder. Once people start figuring out your deal, you're done.
Yep.
Especially if you're a one-trick pony like Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, he's definitely one-trick pony.
Anyway, that's enough jokes at Colin Kaepernick's expense. There'll be plenty of those later.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so apparently the NFL is going to fine they can fine players for going to church under their COVID-19 policy. So
now remember, it's okay to get out in the streets, yell, scream, break things, kill, maim, torture, and otherwise just absolutely rape the black community. But if you go into a house of God and genuinely pray for the betterment of humanity, wow, how dare you?
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you do that? Here's a fine. Here's like I don't know. They didn't say how big the fine was, but like it's probably like a couple $1,000s at least.
Well, I mean, if you're in the NFL, you can pay it, so I imagine it's probably.
Oh well, yeah, 20. I know, but it's just it's just so stupid. It's the principle, not the cost, but it's just the principle. The fact that they're legitimately going to find players who attend indoor church services that are too crowded. Like, bruh, really? Get out of here with that shit. Get out of here. That's ridiculous.
I'd say that's probably illegal, actually, under some discrimination clause, because they're allowing you to politically go out and do the same thing, but you're not allowed to do it for religious reasons. I imagine there's some discrimination clauses you could probably bring up. I imagine there's some way around that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let it fly.
I wouldn't either. This is as much as I love my Cowboys, man. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to watch this because of just how bad.
No, F the NFL. We're not doing this anymore. I was tacitly willing to support them for a lot of stuff, but now it's like, no, we're done. But dude, you know what'd be great though?
I'm not there exactly yet, but if this continues, then yeah.
If we can't turn this ship around, then I'm done.
Yeah, which really hurts me because, as you know, I am a massive ass Cowboys fan.
Anyway, oh yeah,
it's gonna break my heart.
But here's my idea: like, if you really wanted to play this cleverly, right?
Yeah.
You should get as many players onto the field as possible, get them as crowded and close as possible. It's one of these players on this team, and then you should just run out with like a lectern, just slam it on the grass, and like open up a Bible and start reading like from just pick any verse.
Hey.
And be like, now I've made you all, you're all accessories to my crime.
Yup. Exactly.
Now the entire team's gone to church with me. Suck it.
Yep.
And then you should make all
Tim
of them
Tebow on them.
Yeah, basically. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, like,
just
two or more gathered in his name. This is a church now, motherfucker.
Yep, exactly.
Like, get wrecked.
Yeah, and the good thing is, though,
the almighty power of God.
Yeah, for sure.
Slapped with the fines.
Jerry Jones is very conservative as far as, like, because whenever the kneeling first started happening, he told everybody on the team, if you kneel, you're getting fired.
And he should have stuck to his guns.
Well, the thing is Jerry Jones hasn't changed his mind. And he's not the league guy. He's the Cowboys owner.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but a lot of teams they don't enforce that.
Yeah.
Didn't a lot of them have that position initially? Where like, hey, listen, don't emulate this behavior, or there's going to be some sort of consequence.
No, not a lot of teams did. Some did, but not a lot.
Okay, well, there's a number of them that had that, but I can't think of any team now that would actually come out and say that.
Wait, what do you mean?
I can't currently think of any.
Oh, Jerry Jones! I guarantee you, he's still gonna say that.
Well, that's
Jerry
fine.
Jones doesn't care.
That's fine. Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is with him is he's the sole owner. Like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not like Green Bay where it's owned by the city. Like, yeah, they're gonna be. Yeah, they're not gonna be able to do shit because Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones. He does whatever the hell he wants, and that's for both through the good things that he does and the bad things that he does.
Bro, I saw a Jordan Peterson joke.
Okay.
That's kind of like a Chuck Norris joke.
Alright,
so have you seen any of the Jordan Peterson lectures where he's talking about something really serious and he goes, it's no joke, man. It's real serious. I've seen it happen. It's no joke.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the joke, right? So Jordan Peterson doesn't clean his room. His room just knows it could be better and cleans itself. It's no joke, man.
That's pretty good.
Like, that's the whole joke. It's no joke.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
But that was the whole written text of it, was just like, oh my god. I'll try and send it to you in the Discord, but I mean, for our audience out there, if you don't know Jordan Peterson, treat yourself and go listen to some Jordan Peterson.
Oh yeah, Jordan Peterson's great. He's awesome.
It's no joke, man.
Except when he's bashing on video games. And that also goes for Joe Rogan as well.
Okay, well, listen, I'm going to throw him some credit here. I don't like some of the themes in video games.
Yeah.
Like,
that's not what they're talking about, though.
Yeah, but I'm willing to admit there is some criticism of video games that I would consider legitimate.
But the things that they said weren't.
What's your main complaint with it?
Like, so I can't speak specifically or not really that much on Jordan Peterson because it was just something that I heard about through Jimmy.
Well, Joe Rogan definitely said some crap I don't agree with. I'll give you that.
Oh yeah, no. Joe Rogan, like, he made it sound like it brings no value to play video games at all, unless the way he said it made it seem like if
it's a waste
your
of time,
hobbies don't. If the hobbies that you have don't bring you extra money, then it's not worth it. Which is, and I don't think that that's really what he was going for. But even if it's not, a lot of people are going to think that that's what he was saying. and obviously that's incorrect. And then also, it's not valueless. You don't get nothing out of it. It's called relaxation. Like now,
I wouldn't go that far. I would just say that, like, especially during the COVID pandemic.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
What better way to get together with your friends and work on something in a constructive manner?
Exactly.
Get together with your friends, solve some problems on a computer screen, and freaking enjoy yourself for 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, for
man.
sure. For sure.
Who the fuck cares?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't see the negatives to it, really.
Yeah. And the thing is, he did have a point when it comes to being addicted to it. Like that, that's fine.
That's what I was going to say. You can make the case for any sort of behavior which is addictive that it's a problem.
Yeah.
But the issue with the behavior is not that you're doing it; is that it's addictive. Like I just had a small glass of bourbon. If I was doing, it was a large glass every 2 freaking hours, and I couldn't maintain any control over myself, then it'd be a problem, right? If it was like an addiction, it'd be a problem. It's nothing. Basically virtually nothing's a problem in small amounts, except for poison.
Yeah.
But some poisons are problematic in small amounts too.
Yep.
But any really behavior you engage in, almost none of it's a problem in small amounts, with the exception of crime.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really don't agree with that. I mean, if it's something you enjoy, like it's like the knitting community. Like in the knitting community, a ton of them just sit there and knit, post their picture on Instagram or on what's the other one? Not Instagram, but the one for pictures.
Snapchat.
No, the one for like specifically for like art and stuff. All that. It's very cool.
Oh, damn it.
Pinterest.
Oh yeah, Pinterest. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Pinterest. I think that's it. Anyway, but yeah, all that crap.
Pinterest and DeviantArt.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that I would find to be a waste of my time. I could not do that and actually think I was being productive unless I was selling the stuff I was making.
Right.
But if that relaxes you, and if you're making, like, say, if you're making clothes for yourself and gifts for family, it's like, well, if you're just sitting there and enjoying yourself and getting some moderate use out of it and, engaging with the community online about it, how the fuck is that a problem?
Exactly. That's not.
Like, how is that a detriment to your life? I don't get that.
Yeah.
So, I don't agree with the idea that it's detrimental or it's worthless to engage in hobbies. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I'd say but I will say toward Jordan Peterson's thing, I've heard him express that it's odd to think that you would expose yourself to extreme violence and gore and not have that affect you. Like, totally. Like, desensitized to violence, totally, man. Like, I was watching Breaking Bad for the first time the other day. I know. I'm a little behind the curve there, but
I'm always going to be behind the curve on that front because I'm never going to watch it.
It's good, you should, but
I'm not going to watch it. Anyways.
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to have this conversation with you. Why? Your inability to recognize good art is not the topic here. But
yeah, I know.
Like 2 episodes in, he halfway dissolved someone in hydrofluoric acid because his dumbass partner puts it in a bathtub, as opposed to a proper polypropylene. It's some specific plastic. So as opposed to putting it in a proper container for it, he puts it in a ceramic bathtub, and it melts through the floor. And one of the scenes is just like a half melted body. Like there's no limbs on it anymore. It's just a torso.
Yeah. With
some ribs exposed and guts falling out. Like it's really freaking graphic. I mean, it's bad. And I was like, that's cool. And both my parents were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They had to turn it off. And I was like, what's the problem? And I was like, oh yeah, I do spend most of my time exploding flesh in games.
Yeah.
So it's like, can you desensitize yourself to shit? No doubt. What do you think porn does to you?
Yeah.
So I will admit that there's maybe some negatives to some of that stuff. Like the extreme horror games, like the really gory, really disgusting, really fear-inducing horror games. If you have an addiction to that, yes, I can see maybe where that might cause some problems in your life.
Yeah.
But beyond that, no. Wow, I just had the most incredible case of deja vu.
Deja vu?
I'm just deja vu.
Been in this place before.
I don't know the words to that song. I'm sorry.
I don't either. Nobody does.
Nobody knows what they're saying.
Nope. But it is.
But I know Tokyo Drift.
What?
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
When you live in Tokyo and you gotta go.
Oh yeah.
Fast and Furious. Drift. Drift. Yeah. Okay, enough about that. But yeah, I'll grant Jordan Peterson some leeway because I've heard him talk about pornography and video games to the extent that if you're exposing yourself to rather extreme content like hardcore pornography on a regular basis, expect that to affect your life.
Right. Yeah.
Don't expect sex to be fun as fun as or as engaging as your hardcore pornography, because turns out you don't get to hog tie everyone and drip hot wax on them. Pornhub's not real life, kids.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Praise God in heaven that Pornhub is a corner of the internet as opposed to anything in the real world.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've discussed that enough, but because that started off as the NFL being assholes, but
yeah. All right. So do we want to blow through some more of these, or do we want to like slow down on one of them? Go back to the Bill Barr.
I kind of want to circle back to that for a little bit, but
okay, yeah, let's do that.
I'll talk. I mean, the main thing for me with the Bill Barr stuff was, and I think you'll agree with this, was how much like the Kavanaugh hearing it was. You know, I mean, the accusations being thrown around, the utter, like they say, it was a lack of respect on Barr's part. Well, it wasn't a lack of respect on their part. It was an adamant and extraordinarily vitriolic hatred.
Oh yeah.
Look, respect. That's not a word that I even need to use. There's nothing to do with what's going on. Lack thereof, or an abundance of neither. I mean, it was pure vitriolic hatred. It was disgusting.
It was really bad.
And people say, I mean, Andrew Clavin was like, "Oh, it's a cliche," but it was a disgrace. Well, yeah, I agree. It's a cliche to say this about Congress at this point, but holy crap,
it was really bad.
Like, if I've had a personal relationship with any of the Democrats in there, I'd kill myself. I'd be like, "Oh my God, that's a person I know and respect." Well, time to kill myself.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we should have like a warning sign before you enter the halls of Congress. Think before you speak, because one of your close family members is probably watching, and they're going to kill yourself because you're just that stupid.
Right. Yeah.
For the love of God, if you're going to open your mouth, make sure it's not stupid enough that one of your family members wants to commit seppuku. All right.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, that was my 2 cents on it. It was just so insanely ridiculous the way it was handled. Specifically, how again they're getting consistent about breaking the rules of the Senate, right? And of really Congress in general. Whereas, with the Kavanaugh, it's like, we'll just bring in random accusers left and right, and no evidence, and no nothing, and we'll just have them testify. Okay, cool, that works. And now it's, I reclaim my time, I reclaim my time, I reclaim my... You can't reclaim time from a witness.
Yeah.
You did not abridge your time. You did not give your time to anyone. You asked a question. You are required to hear the answer.
Yep.
But I reclaim my time. Your time's not being wasted, motherfucker.
Yeah. It's his time
that's being
wasted.
You asked a question. He has to answer. It is a hearing.
Yep.
For fuck's sake, oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and like
that. But
there are so many times when they just wouldn't let him get a word in, or they wouldn't let him finish his sentence or his answer.
No, it really is one of those things. Because like, if you look at the entirety of the hearing, they're not going to let him finish. They're going to accuse him of things he had nothing to do with. I mean, really disgusting. And it's one of those things where, honest to God, it's like, I do not know what level of human being I'd have to be. I do not know what stage of satanic cocksucking I'd have to be at this point before I could do that and look at myself in the mirror and not immediately blow my brains out for being that person. I do not know what level I'd have to sink to as a human being to do that. I don't understand it. It's like politicians are constantly blowing my mind. It's insane.
Yeah.
I have, honest to God, seen rapists that can handle themselves better than that.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I've seen people who I would consider much worse, but with far more class than that.
Yeah. For sure.
I mean, Roger Stone's damn near a professional criminal. Look at the way he operates. But that dude's classy as fuck.
Yeah.
He doesn't let crap like that happen, although I've heard he can be quite angry in private.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there are plenty of sleazy people in Washington, D.C. who just do not act that bad, ever, for any reason. So, I don't know what to say about it. I don't have a good response to what happened. It's I just can't believe these people are so childish.
Yeah, they really are. And especially above all of them is Jerry Nadler. It's just so crazy. He's insane.
Yep. And above and beyond, man.
And the thing is with Nadler is a couple of days ago, he said that people burning down shit was a myth. it was a
Yeah,
Washington.
and Antifa's a myth, and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he
and it's
is
like,
insanely...
what the hell are you smoking?
Well,
Like,
nothing. He's evil. Like, this is one of those things where, like, I think
Yeah.
Andrew Klavan, again, going back to him, had an episode recently where he was like, you know, he used to have conversations with his friend Matt Walsh, and who's on the Daily Wire currently, said, like, I used to hear him say all the time, you know, the Democrats are a criminal organization. And I always thought, no. But he said, after seeing the Barr hearing, yeah. Like, yes, actually, they are the mafia.
Yeah.
They are literally organized crime. I don't mean that metaphorically. There is not a single... No metaphor. I mean, under the law, as defined currently, yes. They're organized crime, as far as I can tell. I don't know what else to call it, man. I'm not going to pretend the Republicans are necessarily any better. I will tell you they're much less criminal.
Oh, yeah. And they have better ideals. Most of them, at least.
Well, some of them don't even have ideals. Some of them are just power hungry. But I mean...
Yeah, some of them are, but...
I'm just saying, on a general rule, there is a conservative element to the Republican Party, where they are just not willing to sink to a certain level. Like, their discuss sensitivity is too high.
Yep.
They have too much shame to act like that, basically.
Yeah.
And it's, wow, man. Such pride, such vanity, such utter disregard for another human being. It's insane.
Yeah, it really is.
It's pretty bad. I think that was the takeaway from it. But this is how I felt with Kavanaugh. It's like, I honestly can't believe you're doing this.
Yeah.
I have never seen someone so hell-bent on ruining a person who is, by every single metric, an upstanding citizen.
Exactly.
Just for the politics of it. You are not doing it for anything. You're not going to get paid more. You're not going to get, you know, you're not going to, like, drop a bag of, like, a pound of, like, meth on your desk afterwards. Like, what do you have to gain? Politics. Pure and simple for a political edge. It's like, wow. Wow, you're that much of a piece of shit. Wow. Wow.
Yep.
Just wow. That's going to be like 3 podcasts in a row where they've done something. It's just like, wow.
Yeah. Really is.
I'd be more impressed if I wasn't damn near ready to fucking vomit.
Yeah. Exactly.
What I will admit is because I literally don't have the cognitive capacity to understand what it takes to be that kind of person. I will admit I am mildly impressed. Because I certainly don't have what it takes to be that much of an absolute scum-sucking, bottom-feeding piece of human trash. I could never do that.
No.
Like, I seriously would kill myself. Like, if I was Jerry Nadler, I would, honest to God, put a gun in my mouth.
Right, yeah.
But then again, I actually take issue with when I act evilly. When I do things that I consider to be evil, I actually take issue with that. He considers it a point of personal pride, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Man.
So that's my 2 cents on the whole Bill Barr thing. Also, Bill Barr got some good jabs in. It was funny to watch.
Yep.
But my 2 cents is, this is one of those issues where I didn't learn anything. I legitimately learned nothing about Barr.
Right, yeah.
He was starting to testify. I legitimately learned damn near nothing new about Barr. I learned a lot about the Democrats during that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Although I did like that moment whenever they said they asked him if he was a Republican, and he was like, "Yeah." Did you not know that?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're a Republican, yeah, you donated to Republican sources, so you're obviously political. It's like, well, yeah, but I mean, when Eric Garner, was it not Garner? Sorry. Crap.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, the previous head of the DOJ, Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Eric Holder, sorry. Eric Holder,
yeah.
Goes, I'm Obama's wingman. You don't take issue with that?
Yeah.
You're his what? You're an independent dude. Like, I'm pretty sure, isn't Department of Justice, if I'm wrong, correct me. Isn't that Congress's branch? Like, I don't think that's actually an executive branch of government. Or executive department. Regardless, I'll have to double check if that's right or not. Probably wrong. But that guy is there to investigate everyone. Like, your top cop.
Exactly.
You're there to specifically keep the political class in check.
Yep.
But you're Obama's wingman. And that somehow is okay.
Yeah.
This goes to the meme we had today. I mean, just... As many on the right like to say, if it weren't for double standards, there'd be no standards.
Yeah.
For the Democrats, at least. All right, proceed.
All right. So, next, Cruz doing cool shit.
But we're calling that.
Yeah. So the first thing was earlier this week he introduced a Senate bill that blocks COVID-19 funding for states that are discriminating against like religious institutions, and this is just top tier shit, man. This is like amazing shit, in my opinion. Like, and it just goes to show you how truly conservative that Cruz is, and it just keeps me coming back and being like, yep, it's recertifying my love for Ted.
He's great, man.
Yep.
Well, tell me what he did. Come on, talk more.
So, I mean, he introduced that bill. Of course, he freaking went off on Roberts again because I guess he made a decision. He apparently joined the Liberals on the court in a 5-4 vote against Calvary Chapel, Dayton Valley. It's a Reno area church that said that the state was discriminating by imposing stricter requirements on church services than on states' casinos. And then, he which is obviously true. And then Cruz went off on Roberts and said, he's abandoned his oath. And then he suggested maybe Nevada churches should set up crabs tables. Then they could open, which is pretty good. Maybe they actually would. You okay, man? You're muted.
I'm letting you talk, Wyatt.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. And then Senator Tom Cotton, he's a Republican from
I am
Arkansas.
not Jeff Bezos. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. And then Tom Cotton, a Republican from Arkansas, he joined in and was like, what happened to that judge? And then Mark Meadows, who used to be a congressman. Sorry, I knocked my mic over a little bit. He called it a sad day, which of course it is, because that's stupid. But yeah, just more good shit from Ted Cruz, like more good stuff. Which will lead us into our next topic, which is Trump floating the idea of delaying the election. Cruz was one of the first conservatives, but one of the first Republicans to criticize him and be like, yeah, let's not do that. Among a whole bunch of other Republicans, agreeing with him, saying, yeah, no, this is ridiculous. There's no reason to delay the election. Yeah. What do you think about this, Andrew?
A stupid Trump tweet, but I don't think too much about it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking down to as well.
Are you shocked? Like, I mean, Trump's gonna Trump, man. What are you gonna do about it? What can you do?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but it's just really bad. It's more so just a thing to show, to really, it makes me a little happy just to see a lot of Republicans not blindly like, yes, let's delay the election. It's really good to see that, like, a lot of the ones that spoke out, like, they were like, yeah, no, this is no, let's not do that. That sort of, it made me happy. I was pretty satisfied to see that response from them.
Yeah, it's nice to know they're not puppets.
Yep. Exactly.
Unlike the Democrats taking all their Nancy Pelosi keys.
Yeah.
Fucking losers,
exactly.
Man. Fucking losers.
Yep. Alright, so...
Well, I'm going over the article now regarding the HUD changes that were made.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting stuff here.
Yeah?
Yep.
You want to expand on that?
Well, I'll go ahead and let you.
This is the housing rule, right?
Yep, this is the housing rule.
Okay, so basically, Trump sort of. Okay, so he told the suburban voters in a tweet on Wednesday that they will no longer be bothered financially hurt by having the low-income housing built in the neighborhood after the administration revoked an Obama-era housing rule, which basically just means that it basically, I assume, greenlit the.
Well, this rule, to be clear, was never really implemented. So if you haven't really heard too much about it, that's probably because it was largely stopped by Ben Carson. But
Okay.
The only reason we're talking about it now, I guess, is to distract from something else, knowing Trump. I don't know. It's just kind of minor, but it was interesting how it was reported as being racially motivated. Basically saying, because Trump was saying, if I understand the rule correctly, or if I understand anything correctly, and I probably don't, it just had to do with low-income housing being built by the government in affluent neighborhoods.
Yep.
And that was going to be something that was going to get done, and it's not going to happen now. Now they can't just come in and do that wherever they want. And I mean, my personal feeling on it, it's a good thing. If you're a homeowner, I think you'd agree too. 'Cause it's like, well, I bought a house in a nice neighborhood, spent the money on doing it, nice schools, low crime, and the government in that case was looking to dramatically lower property values. That's an investment you'll lose. You'll lose the investment on your home. That's a significant loss, by the way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You go to sell that house and you don't make back your money. Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Pretty bad.
You spend a couple $100,000 only to make like half that back. Ooh.
Yeah.
Big oof.
Pretty bad. Yeah, definitely a big oof.
And, oof size, oof load, large.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Exactly. And as I am a homeowner, I know this, very well. Like, whenever it comes time, like whether we outgrow the house, like if we have, a couple of kids, right? I have a 3-bedroom right now, but one of them is an office, so we really only have 1 bedroom, and we don't really have room
2 bedrooms
to make this office a 2nd bedroom. We don't have a place to put sort of our office. So, so once maybe not once, but if we end up having, more than 1 kid and we don't really want to
what do you
make
mean
them
if?
bunk together. Huh?
It's not a question of what. You will have at least 12 children.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how she feels about that.
It's Western culture. Let's just take a page out of the Muslim playbook, or out of the, like, third world country playbook. Have as many kids as possible, so we can spread our amazing Western ideas of freedom and human dignity and all that good shit. And also because kids are cool, and you should have lots of kids. That's my whole That's my spiel. Have 12 of them.
Yeah. Well, I do want to have a decent amount.
You disagree. Like I'm firmly on the no less than 6 train.
Right. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. I think that might be my max.
Maybe like 1.5.
No, not 1. I'm not trying to.
You sure you don't want to cripple?
I'm sure.
I'm sorry to anyone in the audience that's crippled.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry for the joke. I'm just sorry you're crippled. But,
man.
I'm gonna keep making fun of it. I promise. But
Ooh.
if that offends you, then you can join the rest of the women that I've already kicked out of the club. You can join the rest of the pussies.
Oh boy. Ooh. But yeah, no.
This is a safe space for offensive humor.
6 is enough. Oh yeah, it definitely is.
I mean, I kind of like the idea of like 12, just so I have a proper small army.
You realize that not all of them will agree with you on certain things.
Okay, yeah, but I can just shoot the ones that don't. So. Survival of the fittest.
Gosh.
You either want to take over the Texas you either want to take over the local government and establish an autonomous zone, or you get shot. It's my way. It's my way or the highway. Swear to God, I'll make you crawl back up there, you homesick abortion.
Oh man. Ooh.
That right there is why we'll never get sponsors.
Yeah, probably.
That right there, I've sealed our fate. It's over. It's done.
Probably, yeah. But hopefully they won't hear that.
Oh, they'll hear it. They'll hear all of it.
Maybe. Who knows?
I guess to
but
clarify
anyways.
before anyone calls me a child murderer, because that's not fair. I prefer to think of myself as a problem solver. No, I'm just kidding. That was not a good joke.
No.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
But I do want at least 6 kids, and I think Wyatt should have at least 6 as well. It's a good number.
We'll see. We'll see what
What
happens.
happens if 2 of them die, Wyatt? Come on.
Well then, yeah, but
You need at least 6 people for a cohesive little small village setup.
look, man, I don't want to be buying $200,000 homes. Okay. And actually, they're probably more than that. They're probably like $250,000 to $300,000.
No, man. You can, as long as they're of the same gender, you can shove them in the same room, dude. You can save some money, man. Kids don't have to be as expensive as you want them to be.
I'm not gonna rely on that chance because I don't think it's a pretty big chance of all 6. You know, if we were to have that.
Dude, the worst you'd have to have is at least 2 rooms. Like that would be, you know what I mean? At least like a 3-room house, 2 rooms, 1 for each gender. You'd be gold.
It'd have to be 4 because I have to have an office, or we have to have an office.
Well, there you go. That's a 4-room house. That's not that bad.
Those things are like $200,000, bro.
But that's not that bad.
Yeah, but I don't want to pay that right now.
Well, you would do. You would never pay that immediately. That's how fucking mortgages.
Well, yeah,
work.
I understand that, but still.
I thought you were the homeowner here. Come on, man.
I am, but I'm just saying I don't want to have to do that right now.
Basically, a house can cost whatever you want. It just depends on where you go. That's very location dependent.
Yeah, I guess.
Put in the comments of why you should have 6 kids or just 2.
Watch, they're all gonna say 0 because they don't want me to reproduce.
Hey. Well, no, I was about to say your mother's in the comments, but honestly, that probably isn't gonna help.
Yeah, probably not.
I want grandkids, but not you. Not you.
Yeah. All right.
If I told my mom I wanted 12 kids, she'd be terrified. She'd be like, "You with children?"
Yeah, she would be terrified. Especially
but here's the
considering
difference: which one of us can actually handle a gun?
Huh?
So here's the difference: though, which one of us can actually handle a gun? So I feel better equipped to deal with large groups of people than she gives me credit for.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I certainly know how to deal with a classroom full of kids.
Yeah.
Again, I can handle a gun.
Yep.
Big oof.
Yeah, big oof. Alright, so moving on. So the new stimulus bill that's sort of being going through Congress right now, we haven't
Wait, did we really
voted
discuss
on
the
it.
housing thing yet at all? Like, really? I guess the main change was that there was a policy put into place by Obama, right? Let's make sure we wrap the housing thing up.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. I kind of forgot.
We got sidetracked talking about child murder, which is not... I mean, that'll be in the description. I'm sure I've titled the episode now, but... regardless, the rule had to do with low-income housing being put in, like, affluent neighborhoods by, like, cities and whatnot, and they nixed that rule because it's a bad rule. It's an unworkable rule.
Yeah, definitely.
And people were mad about it because they thought it was racist, which I don't see as being racist. It's like, you can have rich black neighborhoods, rich Mexicans. Why does it being in a wealthy neighborhood that doesn't want a higher crime rate and a lower standard of living, why is that a problem? Why is that a race problem? Like, you're making that, like, they're making that a race problem.
Yeah.
I would not be okay with a bunch of poor white people moving in where I lived.
Nope.
Black,
most
white,
of them
I don't
are probably addicted to crystal meth, so yeah.
Probably. Yeah, they're on.
I don't want that.
Well, that or heroin. Good God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Heroin's a big problem on the white low income.
Yeah, I think it's meth and heroin versus like.
Yeah.
What is it mainly like? No, meth is No, meth is white. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a white person thing.
But what's the hard drug for? Heroin might be the black drug. What's like the hard drug for the black community? 'Cause obviously
crack.
Marijuana. Crack. Yeah. Well. Yeah, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Maybe heroin's universal. Maybe we can all get together and agree that we all like heroin. Can unite this country based on crippling heroin addiction.
That'll solve all of our problems, Andrew. Heroin.
Alcohol helps a boo-boo on the outside. It helps the boo-boo on the inside too.
Oof.
Do you see that meme?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? And I had a teacher. Oh my God, straight up, I had a teacher, an art teacher, right, who was on so many pills for all of her problems. God bless her. I hope she's doing better now. But she had so many pills. She would bring in empty pill bottles to like put alcohol in, like rubbing alcohol. So she could hand out little things of rubbing alcohol to the kids, so we could use them to like mix colors for like various types, like wax base, like pencils and whatnot. And something about her handing out like fucking shot glasses of alcohol and medicine bottles is just so wrong.
Oh yeah.
Just prescription pill bottles filled with alcohol. Something about that just struck me as being just phenomenally funny.
Yeah.
And I think she made the comment, if nowhere else, at the very least in art, alcohol solves all your problems. And I was like, oh no, that's universal. But I mean, that was just hilarious.
Yeah, that's fine.
I should get a picture of that. There were some hard drugs.
Yeah.
Anyway, rubbing alcohol jokes aside. God, we get sidetracked so often on some of the stupidest possible tangents.
But it's fine because it extends our runtime, so it's all good.
Yeah, we're here for the quality content that comes from our tangents.
Oh yeah.
The politics are irrelevant.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, stimulus bills.
So yeah, it's a thing that's going through Congress right now.
Yeah, thanks, Wyatt. That was that was great, man. That was good commentary.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
it's a thing, So
no, really, that's amazing. It's a thing, huh?
So yeah.
So you sure it isn't a person or a place?
I'm sure.
Okay, it's a thing. Wow.
I'm like Joe Biden. I am certain.
Wow, that's amazing. So, phenomenal, Wyatt. Please continue.
Yeah. The biggest difference between the first one, which was the CARES Act, and then this one, which seems to be the HEALS Act, is that what?
I love how they go about fucking America in the ass as hard as they possibly can with the largest strap-on that Congress can afford, and they're like, it's the CARES Act. It's the HEALS Act. No, it's the Fuck Your Savings Act.
Yeah. As we talked about last week.
Like, just for the love of God, be honest with what you're doing to this economy.
Yeah.
You're just buying votes. Just be honest, man.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. So this time, the biggest difference is that, people who didn't get, extra money when they had kids because their kids were, 17 or 18, that's different now. They'll get 500 extra.
Fuck that, man.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
But it looks like everyone else is still going to get 1,200. And it seems like it's pretty much going to... So it's going to be an extra 500, so 17 age or older, and then college students 23 or younger.
Okay, listen here. Take that money.
Yeah.
They're using that money to fuck your future. So you need to use that money to secure your future. Buy gold, buy Bitcoin.
Yep.
Buy stocks, of course, I'm not telling you to do anything. You need to do what you want. I'm telling you, if you want to secure your future against inflation, take whatever money they give you. For the love of God, don't put it in a savings account. That's the worst way to do it. Don't spend it. You need to buy, ideally, silver and gold would be just really rock solid investments.
100%.
Now, I'm going to go buy a gun because I'm me, but if you're not into that...
And I will buy new tires for my car and my wife's car because we need them.
There you go.
But that's if I even get it, because I didn't even get the first one because of the way that... and I think I told you about this, but the way that the system that the IRS made, the way that it checks, your tax form to see if you're eligible, on the thing where it says, I have been claimed as a dependent, or my spouse was claimed as a dependent. My spouse was claimed as a dependent. Her mother claimed her last year because she spent the first 8 months of the year living with her, which is fair. But because a box in one of those was checked, or was selected, they recognized it as the one who's filing, was claimed as a dependent, and they basically told me that I was going to have to submit an amendment next year when I file, and then I'll get my $1,200. But so I don't know if I'm going to get this one. I don't know if I'm going to get this one either. So
yeah.
So needless to say, if I don't get this one, then next tax season, I'm going to get a lot of money back from them.
Yep.
A lot of money. So yeah. But
I think at this point we should. When I get mine, I'm buying a new gun and then I'm putting the rest away. But
yeah.
At this point, I just don't want any more. I'm just done. I'm so sick of watching these terrible, terrible economic moves being made.
Yeah.
They're really not good moves, man. They're just terrible. So much fraud's happening. I mean, so much government incompetence with this whole stuff. And then on top of that, the deficit. Jesus, man.
Yep. Blowing it out of the water.
Yeah, it's been my least favorite part of the Trump presidency is how we have not decreased the national debt.
Yeah.
That really irks me more than damn near anything.
For sure.
Anyway, but we talked about it. I mean, basically, yeah, they're going to try and correct some of the stuff from the last one, which is a problem no one asked them to solve because it's a problem that they made.
Yeah. Yep.
It's almost like they're not going to fix it. They're just going to make it worse.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'm really pissed about that they need to act on is the employment stuff. You should get no extra money for being on unemployment as a result of coronavirus.
No.
Like, you are
I agree with that.
That is so obvious, and everyone bitched about it when it was first passed. Like, everyone knew. Like, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Yep.
And sure enough, some people saying, well, I get more money in unemployment, so I'm not gonna come back to work.
Yeah.
Like, are you shitting me? You just killed small businesses. You didn't kill big businesses.
Yeah.
Obviously, you didn't do that. You killed small. This is like every effing thing the government does. Screws the small man, screws the little guy, and just overwhelmingly helps the rich people out.
Yeah.
Like, when people say, like, oh, the government's for the rich, and like, sometimes it really is.
Yeah.
Those big businesses, which are going to just see all their competitors drop out in the local areas, just going to make big bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, man, fuck this thing. Fuck this whole system. This system sucks.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Gay-ass stimulus check bullshit. Fuck you.
Yep.
Fuck
Exactly.
you.
And also, when it comes to unemployment, I'm on unemployment right now. And I'm still saying, no, I don't need that. I don't need that. No. I mean, I do need the money, but I'm not going to take it.
Well, you don't need the extra 600.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, I can't, I don't think that unemployment is going to be able to help me pay my bills at all, because it's really just going to cover food. So I am applying for other stuff, like other, like military or veteran, like, nonprofits. But, yeah, like, I don't want that from the, nope. I don't want the.
But no one would be unemployed, or at least there'd be a lot less unemployment if we hadn't shut the economy down in these states.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
And that's the other thing that I'm pissed about is you need to completely open it. The evidence is so clear. Between lockdown or not lockdown, it doesn't matter. The number's the exact same.
Yep.
Like, the lockdown does nothing for this thing.
It doesn't.
It only hurts the economy. The only thing you can reliably achieve with this lockdown is hurting the economy. You cannot lower the numbers. You can't. Every country we've done this study on, you cannot lower the numbers with a lockdown. It hasn't fucking worked.
It hasn't.
So, just stop lying to our faces and let us go back to work, for fuck's sake.
Exactly. Yeah. And
I spent the last month and a half just staring at a screen, pretending I'm doing something at work, because normally where I have 6 machines running, I'm lucky to have 1 machine running. This is killing us, man. This is insane.
Yeah, it really is.
And I'd have been laid off if my employer hadn't taken the loan, and he was required to keep us.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, it's hurting our businesses, man, so bad.
Yeah, it is, and
for no gain, for no gain.
No. And the thing is like, I'm out of the company that I did my internship with, because I did an internship as I was transitioning out of the Air Force. The Air Force has a program where your last 6 months of your enlistment, you can do an internship or like a apprenticeship, stuff like that. And you're still getting paid by the military, but you're reporting there to wherever your internship is instead of to your unit. And I was able to pick up some really cool skills as far as like building applications and learning some computer programming stuff. And the company that I was interning with, they were doing like really well. They're still doing fine, but and before all the lockdowns and stuff, they had this thing called the bench where they would hire people if they didn't have like a project for them yet, but they still wanted to hire them. They would hire them and then put them on the bench. But because of the lockdowns and stuff, it limited the amount of people that they could hire. So so that they had to do away with the bench. So nobody could really be hired unless they had they already had a project for them in mind. So, and if it wasn't for that, I would have a job right now. Like they straight up said, like, yeah, you'd be employed by us right now if that hadn't have happened. So
time to kill the politicians.
Yeah, so I'm pretty damn upset with this, because if it wasn't for this shit, I wouldn't have to be on unemployment right now.
And I think I've said this, but like, really, what do they expect to come of this? Like, when you hurt people so much, and it's so obvious it's their fault.
Yeah.
Like, because I generally don't think that blaming successful people is how you should go about life, but the government, for sure, at this point, is to blame for so many of these problems.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they're doing it intentionally. They've made that very clear as well. So, I don't know what they expect, but I expect a French Revolution in this country. Like, I genuinely expect working class people to go, I've been screwed so unbelievably hard that I want to guillotine people.
Yeah.
I'm not unsympathetic to the view.
Yep.
So I'm just afraid that, with the riots going on and just the general breakdown of law and order, that we're going to see some really nasty stuff in this country if things don't immediately get on track again.
Yeah. It's definitely possible, man.
I think it's likely.
Yeah.
Anyway, Wyatt, what do you think, Wyatt? What do you think? What are we looking at here, man?
In terms of what?
In terms of the future?
You see, I don't think it's going to get quite that bad, because I think what's going to happen is Trump's going to get reelected. They're still going to whine and moan, but there's nothing really that they're going to be able to do at that point, unless Trump does something illegal, or something that could be really, really, like, to where that they could twist it to make it look like extremely illegal. But aside from those two things, then they're gonna have to move on. They're gonna have to, because it's in his second term, and they can't hurt him anymore as far as politically, because he's not running for re-election after that. So there's literally
they could
nothing.
try and remove him from office again. They could try and hurt the Republican Party.
Well, yeah, they could definitely do that.
I think they'll go into full.
What I'm saying
I think they'll get worse.
Is like,
actually,
they're not going to have as many of a. They're not going to have a leg to stand on, really.
No, that's my problem. It will get worse. Like the making things up, the insane media coverage, it will get worse.
Well, yeah, that part, yeah, the media coverage
they have not learned their lesson. They have not learned. They're not going to learn. They're going to think, we just need to double and triple and quadruple down again. So I firmly believe that it will get considerably worse, their behavior.
I think the media will, but I don't think that.
No, Democrats, yeah.
I don't think so.
They'll be in lockstep with the media for sure. They always are.
I don't know, man. I really don't think that they're going to be able to actually levy anything. I don't think they're going to be able to impeach Trump again.
You realize they're not levying anything now, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
they've lost every major battle.
I know that. But what I'm saying is,
they're insane as it is. Why would they become suddenly more tame?
Because they don't have, and they literally have nothing that they can really actually do.
The same thing here, man. The impeachment was obvious bullshit.
No, it's different, because after he gets reelected, he doesn't have to. He's not going to run again, or he can't run again. So it's not.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
They already proved they don't care about that. They tried to impeach him. They don't care about him getting elected again. They want him out as soon as possible.
Yeah, but they wanted to impeach him because they knew that they weren't going to beat him in the election. That's why they wanted to impeach him.
But yeah, that's my point. They know there's no other way to get him. So why wouldn't they just do it again? They're still trying to get him.
They're not going to. They're not going to find anything that they're going to be able to do with it.
Well, they didn't find anything before either.
Well, yeah, they
literally made that up.
They found like something that could be.
No, they didn't. They made it up. The whistleblower worked with Adam Schiff. It was entirely fabricated. Every bit of the whistleblower complaint, every single bit of the Ukrainian impeachment was a fabrication. Not a damn thing of that was a legitimate scandal. Not a damn thing. If you thought that was them, grasping at straws and just doing their damnedest, no, that was them being calculated criminal jackasses. And I don't see that getting better. I do not see it. I don't think that the insanity is going to get toned down. I think they're going to become considerably more aggressive. Because they can't handle rejection. They couldn't handle it in 2016. They're not going to be able to handle it in 2020.
I don't know.
I don't see them getting better. I see them getting more and more radical and worse and worse and worse. It's a downward spiral. There's no getting off this train, man. They have fucked themselves.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, they definitely did. They definitely screwed themselves, but I don't know. I still have a little bit of faith.
Zero faith. Zero.
And that's something that just you and I just differ on.
Which member of that party would get better?
Yeah.
Which member of the Democratic Party you think right now would lose in 2020 and go, oh, well, I guess for the next 4 years we'll just be cool.
I mean, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, like, they're not going to have the ability to do anything unless Trump does something real. No, they won't.
They completely fabricated an impeachment. They'll do it again.
I know. Yeah, but the problem is, if they would have done it again by now. If at least at this point,
no,
if they had anything.
They don't need to.
Well, yeah, COVID, but I'm saying as far as like impeachment, if they had anything, they would have already done it again.
No, they wouldn't have.
Yeah, they would have.
No, because the first attempt was so abysmal, right? They have to let it cool off. So I say they'll do it again, probably a year or two into his second term.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Depending on the situation, maybe I'm wrong. I think right now they think they can beat him over the head with COVID.
Yeah, they think they can, and they're wrong.
And they're wrong. Yeah, they're wrong. They're going to get proved to be wrong, and they're going to go, oh, well, that didn't work. Let's double down on some other shit we've done before. So they'll go back to impeachment.
I don't think
like you said, they won't have to. Again, you're saying that they won't have an election, right? So they're going to calm down because they won't be able to beat him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they also won't have another opportunity to get rid of him. So their only option to get rid of him at that point will be an impeachment, which means they're going to try again.
I don't think they're going to try again. Or if they
do, I really think they will.
I don't think so, man.
That batshit.
I don't think they have anything that they can actually
Again, this is where I say they didn't have anything to fabricate either. It's called fabrication for a reason, Wyatt. They literally pulled it out of the air.
I understand that.
And they did it because it was an election year. So the next time they see an opportunity, like as a general trend, right? Next midterms. If they win the next midterms, if we get like another like a Democrat House, they'll definitely do it again. Now, of course, if they don't control the House, then even if they make a motion for it, who cares?
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you get into a position where they have control of the House, they will do it again. There was no way that impeachment was going anywhere, and they did it anyway.
Yeah.
So why would it be any different? They are trying to remove that man through illegal means. They've done it. They didn't. Why you're wondering why did they do it the first couple of years then, right? Well, because they had the Russia probe. They're trying to get rid of him illegally that way. Well, now they tried to illegally get rid of him with the impeachment. Now they're going to try the election. What are they going to try next? Because they will try something next. This is their third attempt to get rid of him. Yeah. They will try something next. Like I don't know how else you can see that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just too naive. That's probably what it is.
I think you're too forgiving.
Yeah, probably, but
they tried to run an investigation on him while he was getting elected, right?
Yeah.
So they could see if they could disqualify his whole campaign with being Russian bots or to make that stick. And then when it didn't work, they just kept going on with a fake investigation to see if they can get him impeached and based it out later. The second that failed, literally the moment it failed, they began planning their fucking impeachment attempt.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, and okay, well, we're going to run this silly election, and once we win the election, good. But that's what they think. They always think they're going to win.
Right.
But then they won't.
Yeah.
And they're going to try something again.
Yeah.
I don't see it going any other way, man. Comment down below.
Yeah.
How crazy are the Democrats?
Yeah.
On a scale of 10 to 10.
Yeah.
How absolutely batshit are these people?
Mm-hmm.
All right, next problem.
All right. Epstein.
I think I'm going to keep this brief because everyone can read. We have proof now that he was on the island, Bill Clinton.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Proof, rock solid proof.
Yep.
So, enjoy that.
Well, I wanted to expand more on that.
I mean, you can, but
more than just that.
With Epstein, it's kind of enough said. Because that was our big thing with Epstein to begin with, is how tied he was to the Clintons. And now it's like it's so rock solid. Like the evidence there is so transparent. It's like, I'm fairly certain that the Clintons actually probably did kill him. Like, I mean, people are saying it might have been like some other unknown party who he had dirt on. I'm really thinking that the Clintons might have done this one.
Yeah. I think so too. And
the new stuff coming to light, yeah.
Yeah. With everything that's coming to light, and the thing is, like, so basically, for those of you who don't know, there are a whole bunch of Epstein case files, both against Epstein and then also against Maxwell, which she has been accused as his basically right-hand woman who was procuring girls for him to use, for sex trafficking and all that stuff. There was a whole bunch of old case files that were unsealed. They were sealed, and I really wanted to give a shout out to the journalist who did this, because it's awesome that he was able to do this. But he sued the federal government to unseal those records, and he won. He won. And hold on, let me pull up his name real quick. So, sorry, my phone's taking forever to load. His name is Cernovich, and I assume he's an independent journalist, is what it seems. And yeah, but he sued the federal government to get them unsealed, and he won. So I have looked at not really a good chunk. I've looked at like maybe 30 to 50 pages, which is not very much in the grand scheme of things. There are a lot of documents.
I'm gonna overhype the evidence real quick before you get too far. We have it on good.
Well,
sorry, I cut you off. I'm just saying with the evidence, though, because I may have overstated this. The key portion of what was unsealed is testimony, just so you know.
Yes, a good portion of it is testimony from.
So take that for what it is. I'm going to call that pretty good evidence.
Yeah, for sure. And also the thing is like Bill Clinton is mentioned so much. His name is mentioned a lot, a lot. And according to witness testimony, Bill Clinton was on the island with 2 young girls. So if you believe the witness testimony, which I don't really have any reason to not believe it, because all of the other things that I've seen so far, as far as her testimony goes, have been correct, as far as Epstein and then Maxwell. So I have no reason to doubt her when it comes to Bill. So yeah, and this more so just like the biggest thing about these files that have been released is it angers me even more that because the FBI had access to all this information, they've done nothing, and they've had all these documents for at least since back when Obama was in office, and maybe even when Bush was in office. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know in the time that Obama was in office, they've had all this information.
Well, 2008. I mean, they've had.
Yeah.
That's when we knew. That's when the trial, we publicly understood that there was a trial occurring with Jeffrey Epstein, right? And that he got off pretty easily and whatnot. So we can at least say back in 2008 that it was, and like I said, probably into the Bush administration, there was some evidence being collected. But
yeah,
I think it's fair to say that. Well, definitely the Bush administration, because 2008 would definitely be Bush. But I mean, I think it's fair to say that the government's known. the government is known.
Yeah, and they haven't done anything. And it makes me so happy.
Have you seen like the child sex trafficking like numbers for Trump, where he's like got like or not even sex trafficking for children, just like generally speaking sex trafficking, where he's been like the best at stopping those people.
Yep. Of
like the last like 10 presidents combined, damn near.
Yeah.
Like he has like really good numbers on human trafficking.
Yep.
So.
But yeah, no, and it's just that's the biggest thing for me, and I haven't even made it through all of them, but like the biggest takeaway for me is just showing like how badly the administration was during Obama when it comes to like pursuing child trafficking. And then another thing, witness testimony also, if you believe the witness testimony, I wouldn't say exonerated Trump, but one of the witnesses, she said because apparently the defense attorney for I guess Maxwell or Epstein, was claiming that I don't know if they were claiming, but people tried to like put words in her mouth saying that Donald Trump flirted with her, and she said no, he never flirted with her. He never flirted with her. He never like did anything sexual to her, talked to her in any manner like that. So
very nice, very nice.
Yeah, so that's another thing that sort of is a good thing, is that in these files that also, according to witness testimony, Trump really wasn't involved with that. So yeah, that's some good news.
But yeah, that basically wraps it up. I mean, it's just really interesting information, specifically testimony. If you get an opportunity, please go read it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's pretty easy to find. Just go to Cernovich, go to his Twitter page, and he has a link to the documents in his Twitter bio, and you can download it. And then he also posted, he also posted a Google Docs too on his page, and that also contains the files as well. And these are, definitely go check that out. And these are 100% legal to view. They've been unsealed. So yeah.
Well, it's information in the United States of America. You can view it, of course. So like, don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's go on to there's a lot of good next big topic from this week. Actually, the biggest topic of this week would be we have the death of John Lewis and Herman Cain, pretty close to one another. So we've had a memorial for John Cain. Sorry for, goddamn, are you kidding me? For John Lewis and Herman Cain. Has just died this week. I don't know what the plans are for his service and whatnot. Yeah. But specifically, what we're going to talk about is how they've been treated by the media.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And Obama, of course, and some stuff that happened at John Lewis's funeral was pretty disgusting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was. And guess who else was there? Bill.
Yeah, Bill. Good old Bill.
Oh, sorry. I actually did forget one thing that I did want to touch on just a little bit about the Epstein files. Almost none of the media, like the mainstream media, picked it up. Almost none of it.
Well, that's not a surprise. They didn't want to talk about him being killed in jail either.
Yeah. So, I mean, and the extent that they said was that I saw was really just, more court documents were unsealed. But that was it. That was the extent of it. They didn't talk about any of the testimony or anything. They just was like, let's just.
Nope.
No. And in fact, I think the only one that did was Barr.
I mean, for the people that claim that the whole believe all women and the Me Too thing, like, they're just so soft on Bill Clinton. Like, he's not a president anymore. What are you afraid of, getting whacked?
Yeah.
Because you should be.
Yeah, you should be afraid of that.
That's a real thing.
It is. It really
I'm fairly certain he's done that to people.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to. Like I said, let's try and get back on track with John Lewis and
Herman. I just wanted to talk about that, just briefly at least.
Let's go and try and wrap things up here in the next 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So we can play some video games.
Yep.
I know Joe Rogan wouldn't approve, but fuck Joe Rogan.
Yep, exactly.
Our podcast is better than yours.
Exactly. 100% is.
100% better.
Yep. And our opinions are better than yours, which is hard to distinguish, but I'm going to say it.
To be totally fair, we're probably way worse than him, but I mean, like...
I don't care.
It doesn't matter. We're cooler than him and we know it.
Oh yeah, this is 100% true. Yep.
We don't have a Jamie, but one day we will.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. But until then, we just have...
Google Docs.
Yep, Google Docs. Yeah. And then we also have each other, you, awesome machinist, me, a veteran who is moving into IT stuff, so yeah, it's good shit. Yeah.
I love the title of this article from the Soapbox.
Oh yeah.
Conservative media is really struggling with the possibility that Trump killed Herman Cain.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like,
they're not struggling with jack shit. He didn't kill him. A disease killed him. Are you fucking retarded?
Yeah. I just wanted to show like how badly biased this was.
For a guy named Shepard, this guy's a real sheeple.
Nice.
Anyway, that's just wow.
Yeah.
Struggling with what? Like, what are we struggling with? Like, we're pretty much on the same page. You know what? He didn't get killed by Trump. Not hard to say.
It's not. And I mean, the thing is, like, he went to the rally, right? But the thing is, like,
I will say he probably got it there. Honestly, probably did. That doesn't matter.
I don't know.
No, he probably did. It's a very large gathering of people. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, even if he did.
Even if he did, that's not the problem. The problem is he's dead. Like, the man died. That is what we're mourning here, not that he was a COVID death.
Mm-hmm.
Him being a COVID death, he checked all the boxes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but that's not a shocker to anyone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right.
And also, he opposed mask mandates and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, he opposed the mask mandates.
Yep.
But apparently, and I have no reason to disbelieve this, from what I've heard, if you listen to the opening in his podcast, he says, yeah, wear a mask when you're in crowded spaces, yada, 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 wash your hands, sanitizer. This isn't some anti-science bigot. He just didn't like the mask mandates. He didn't like the government mandating something.
Exactly.
If you honestly don't know the difference between not liking a mandate and having a different opinion on science, right? If you actually think that, like, there's a huge difference between saying, I don't want to wear a mask because I don't think they work, right? Which is like, okay, but like there is some evidence that to an extent they do. So that isn't necessarily a good position. Granted, there's very little. It's very scanty, very debatable. But I mean, that's a position that's a lot harder to defend than what the mainstream Republican position, which is that, you know, we'll wear a mask when we feel it's necessary, but we are going to oppose the mandates.
Yeah.
Like, the government telling us what to wear on our fucking faces is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
Unless there was some real externality, but there's not with COVID.
There isn't.
Like, it's very unlikely you'll die of it.
Yeah,
so you could, at this point, if you're saying there's an externality not doing that, well then, whenever the flu season comes around, the government would have to force us to wear masks too.
Oh yeah.
But they don't do that because it's ridiculous.
And it would be different if it was the companies themselves who were making that decision.
Well, like, and a lot of them do. Like, a lot of businesses I've been in have had those mandates since before the government. I'm willing to respect that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, you know, if that's what that business wants to do, if they refuse to serve you because if you don't wear a mask, that's their choice.
Yeah,
I think it's a retarded choice, but it's absolutely theirs to make.
Yeah, 100%, and that's
not the government.
And that's something that I think is stupid that some people on the left are trying to say, like, oh well, it's well, aren't you going to listen to the businesses? And it's just like, it's not them that's mandating this. They're only
I mean, a lot of them are not.
It's the government that's mandating them to mandate.
Yeah, a lot of them that are requiring it now weren't doing so before the mandates. That's our point. Is that some of these businesses are being forced to do this, and yes, it does hurt their business.
Yep.
I don't know how it wouldn't, because so many people don't want to wear the mask. It's so political now. Obviously, it's going to hurt your business if you're forcing people to wear them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, have you had to walk around the store lately for, like, more than 5 minutes with a effing mask on? Yeah. They're not comfortable. And this is the other thing. Be like, well, I wear a mask all the time when I work, and mask this and mask that. But most people don't wear a mask everywhere they go. It's uncomfortable.
It is, very.
It's not hard. It's not rocket science.
Yeah,
yes, you can breathe in a mask. Yes, it's fine. But when you take that mask off and the lower half of your face is drenched in condensation from your disgusting breath, it's like, maybe I didn't really need to go to the store that day. Maybe I'll stop shopping for a while. I mean, really, it obviously hurts businesses because people don't like wearing them.
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, I sat in a gun store the other day for about an hour doing all my paperwork and all my crap, searching for ammo on their scare shelves, all this stuff, and it's just like, I wear a mask the whole time. It's not impossible to do, but it's extremely uncomfortable. I'm not going to pretend I enjoy it.
It definitely is. And I went to Six Flags a couple of weeks ago, and they require masks the entire time that you're there, unless you're on a water ride. That's the only exception. But the good thing is, here's the thing that's awesome about what they actually did. So they actually created a mask-free zone that you could go and rest at. You could go and take your mask off and breathe and just chill there for a couple minutes.
They should make it the smoking zone too.
Huh?
They should make it the smoking zone too. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that would.
Come get some good, solid, clean, fresh air outside of your mask. People are smoking everywhere. It's like, that's still better.
Oh wait. Yeah, it still is
still better. Dude, they'd stop where I work, a pretty large open building, and they let us smoke in there before, if we wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
And they stopped letting us smoke in there with COVID and whatnot. And it's like, okay, but you realize that I promise you the virus is not hanging out to smoke.
Yeah.
Like, so the vapors are actually more of a problem, and I'm not even sure they're a problem because they superheat that stuff. That liquid gets hot.
Right. Yeah.
So it's water vapor, yes, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes out fairly hot. Now, as far as how hot it is when it actually enters the lungs and how hot it is on exit, probably plenty of germs that survive. But it's still BS. Like, our shop is so large, you could do that and be like 25 feet away from everyone while doing it.
Right, yeah.
So it was ridiculous, it was hilarious, and everyone in the front office was like, okay, you came out on the floor and like, okay guys, we have to all not smoke, and I know it sucks, but we can't do it. And like, three of us said, like almost in unison, but none of you smoke.
Yeah.
Like, the three people in the office, none of them smoke. So, what do you mean it's terrible and it sucks? Yeah, for us. What?
Yeah.
You don't even give a shit. So, I mean, it's just the crap with the COVID stuff. The alarmism is annoying, and some of us are getting really sick of it.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure a whole bunch of parents are getting sick.
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to
parents.
schools,
yeah, dude.
Man. Like,
Dude, my parents told me straight up they're going to homeschool my sister now.
Oh, okay. That's good. Yeah,
and apparently she's not happy about it, but like, I don't really care how she feels about it. It's obviously a better choice.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. As far as education goes, 100%. Now, from the social aspect, it's not as great.
Okay, I mean, I would agree with that if you were allowed to have a social life in COVID, but you're not.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So what is she going to lose?
You wouldn't have a social life anyways. You're right.
She can talk to your friends on the phone. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, like, this is one of those things where it's like, you know what? If it's going to be bad, it may as well be less bad.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, at least
I agree, dude. The social aspect is the best part of school. And when they said kids can't really have a social life at school anymore, I'm like, okay, well, there's really nothing in this institution worth saving anymore.
Yeah, that's definitely true. 100%, man.
So yeah, whatever.
Yep. So, yeah.
Well, I think we're done with the... No, we're not. We didn't talk about that. Wow. Gone off on a COVID tangent. So, Don Lewis has a memorial. This is where we're probably going to focus, is that we had Obama come up and say some extremely political and partisan things.
It was
and of
really
course,
bad.
we have the Democrats coming out and bashing Herman Cain, saying Trump killed him and his politics are the reason he's dead. It's disgusting. Yep. Stop.
It's very disgusting.
These people are
stop
dead.
Politicizing people's deaths.
These people are dead. Neither of them deserve to die. And Herman Cain, who died of COVID, yes, he was against some of these mandates, and yes, he questioned the science of it. There are plenty of people, I'm sure, who are out there, like, sucking the dick of wokeness, like, worshipping at the altar of dipshitism and going, oh, yes, anything the Democrats say, I promise, anything to save myself from COVID, who probably died too.
Yep, that's probably true.
I hate to say it, but people die. This disease is not exactly preventable. I don't care what Herman Cain's politics were on the issue. I guarantee you he didn't die because he didn't wear a mask. He died because he was at risk for it and he happened to catch the disease. You can do that while wearing a mask. And this is the other thing, right? We were told repeatedly, and this is actually a premise I kind of agree with, is that the mask will not stop you from getting COVID. They will stop you from spreading COVID.
Exactly.
How the actual F does him getting COVID and not liking masks have anything to do with one another if you have been telling me that you can get COVID while wearing a mask?
Yep. 100%.
What the fuck, guys?
Yep.
This is what I mean when I say gaslighting, and I say, like, it's like we're watching. We're watching you do this. Like, you sit there one day and go, well, you have to wear a mask because it'll stop other people from getting sick. Guy who gets sick that wasn't wearing a mask. Well, if you'd been wearing a mask, you wouldn't have gotten sick. It's like, that's not what you fucking said, you idiots.
Yeah, it's not. No, not even close.
It's one of those areas where it's like, I don't think you should wear a mask unless you are sick. Like, if you're, I understand, caution, right? But the only time I think you should, like, as a matter of conscience, wear a mask, as a matter of, like, moral responsibility, is when you know for a fact you're sick.
Exactly, yeah.
Then, yeah, absolutely. There's no excuse to not wear one.
And at that point, just stay home.
Precisely.
Don't go anywhere.
Exactly.
Unless you have to. Unless, like, you're literally the only person in your house and you can't get anyone to get it for you and then drop it, drop whatever it is that you need at your door.
Why it's elaborate scenario aside, yes, if you have to be outside, wear a mask. If you're sick, very simple.
Yeah.
But don't tell me that wearing a mask will prevent me from getting the disease when you've told me the opposite.
Exactly, yeah.
Mainstream media. Goddamn dipshits, man.
Yep. They really are, man. It's awful. So, so let's look at some of the stuff that Obama said.
Yeah. We have links for this, by the way, if you want to see how bad some of these articles are. Like,
yeah,
we do.
So Here's what.
Granted, the Fox News article is good, but I mean, the other one's, oh my god.
Yeah.
Former President Obama delivering sharp.
Yeah. So here's some of what Obama said. Now, I know this is a celebration of John's life. There are some who might say we shouldn't dwell on such things, but that's why I'm talking about it. And then he says that. Then he said that John Lewis devoted his time on this earth fighting the very attacks on democracy and what's best in America that we are seeing circulate right now.
This is my other annoying thing that I keep getting here. Like, I don't. Do you think this is a misnomer, like just a mistake, or do you think they know that democracy is evil and it's not the system we use? But they're saying it is because they want pure democracy.
Yeah.
We are not a democracy.
No,
our country was set up explicitly to be an anti-democratic system. We do not believe in democracy in this country.
No.
We have democratic systems for electing people. The system itself is not a democracy. It's a representative republic.
Exactly, yep.
Democracy is a form of evil.
Yeah.
You can't get around that. It is majority rules.
Yep.
Okay? Like, plain and simple. So, I just hate when... And here it bothers me even more, because it's like, I think it's so obvious. It's like, stop calling it democracy. We're not a democracy. Sorry, proceed.
Yep. Yeah. And then he went on to, like compare what's going on now to what was going on in the 60s. And then, of course, he quoted, MLK. And then, at least I'm not... Maybe I'm getting them mixed up with the article. No,
he just talked about the fact that we're the exact same today as we were then.
Yeah.
Here's the Charles Wallace, here's this and that. Oh, we're so racist, we're so evil, we're so awful. I mean, trying to juxtapose what happened back then and what's happening now.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. It's disgusting. Yeah, it's verifiably false.
Yep, it is.
And John Lewis would disagree with you. That man, honest to God, fought racism. He would know that you're wrong. I hope he would, at least. I mean, I know he's politically opposed to the president, but I hope he'd be able to look at it and go, well, no, that's just, I mean, maybe I don't agree with policy, but it's not racism.
Yeah.
It's nothing at all what he was facing back then.
Yeah, it's not. And then
telling a bunch of white folks you're not allowed to burn down a courthouse is not what I would call racism.
Yeah, it's not.
Because that's what he did. He put the federal fucking images of the federal officers at the courthouse. That's one of the images he displayed. It's like, you think that's the same as spraying black protesters and black demonstrators with fire hoses?
It's not.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's not.
And the other thing is, like, please don't do that, because I actually appreciate what those black people did, and I don't like them being compared to violent jackasses.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, that's degrading, actually.
Yeah. And then he went on a thing where
fuck that guy.
Exactly.
What was his name again? What was his name?
What?
Osama, something Hussein, something. What's Obama bin Laden? What's the guy? I mean, Trump has destroyed so much of his record. I can't remember what this guy's name was. I
know Joe can't remember either.
I know, right? He's Biden, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just joking about Obama, but you get the point. He's irrelevant. Yeah. Fuck him.
Yeah, but he said he criticized Trump for sending in, the DHS, which we talked about last week.
Yeah, that's not a discussion.
Yeah. So, we already sort of debunked that talking point. And then he went on to claim that there is an effort to undermine the voting process, and
Yeah, there definitely is. It's called mail-in ballots.
Yeah, exactly.
Enough said about that. What an idiot.
Yeah, he really is. He really is a moron.
Like, I thought he was a bad president. It just turns out he's actually a bad person. Yeah,
for sure.
Oh, man. Asshat.
Yep, 100% now. Yeah. Alright, let's see. But, definitely check out the links specifically for talking about Herman Cain, because the one from the soapbox, it's just so crazy, man. It's just so crazy.
Yeah, no, I don't even want to talk about
the way that they phrased it. It's so bad.
We already talked about that a little bit. I mean, that was just like them bashing Herman Cain for things that were not Herman Cain's fault or Trump's fault.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's so stupid.
Annoying.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
And the other thing is he's Obama's pushing more of like a what would you call it? Not exactly a Malcolm X vision of things, but definitely he's not pushing an MLK version of protest or change.
No,
whereas Lewis was. So it's like, no, you don't get to speak for him, you fucking piece of shit.
Absolutely not. No.
God, what a piece of crap.
I know, it really is. All right. So, the next topic is the SpaceX crew. You want to hit on this? This was your baby.
This was great. This was really interesting because at the time that these protests broke out regarding George Floyd, right around the time that we started, or that this program got launched, we sent the first manned mission from a private spacecraft and from an American-made ship in like 10 years to the space station as part of a test run, a trial run. We're trying to get back to becoming, being like a major force in the space exploration. And so this is sort of groundwork for going to Mars. And the really cool thing about this was at the time was that we successfully launched people, we got them to the space station, yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
And the reason we're talking about their crew returning is because for that mission to actually be complete, for the actual first phase of this whole, getting to Mars thing to be complete, they have to successfully come back.
Yep.
So when we talked about it like a month ago, I don't know how much we talked about it then, but maybe briefly talked about it, but at the time that was happening, a lot of people, myself included, considered it extremely unifying, a great moment. It was totally thrown aside by the media for the George Floyd stuff because, of course, they're asshats. They're evil, communist, anti-American fuck buckets. But the rest of us, honest to God, actual Americans, loved it. Yeah. We're like, oh my God, it's unifying, it's great, it's awesome. For 5 seconds, we can put aside our differences and go, God damn, that's so cool. And just enjoy the fact that we're doing something substantial and interesting, as Americans again. And it's just going to be nice to see them come home. Hopefully they return safely. We'll have completed that mission, and that will be the first step in America going to Mars, more or less. And that's just laying the groundwork for a real attempt, Yeah. So, I just want to, congratulations to SpaceX for being so kick-ass.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it'll be great to see those guys come back.
Yep.
That was my spiel. I just thought it was really cool. It's not getting enough attention. So.
Yeah, definitely not. Did they say when they were?
Sometime next week, I thought.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be soon.
Cool.
Nice. I mean, I'll look it up after the podcast. We'll talk about it, but
yeah,
that's cool. So actually, the article we linked probably has the exact date in there. But all right, that's all I wanted to say on that. I think we're getting right towards the end of the podcast here. One more topic we want to cover. It's going to be about Portland again.
Yep.
So in front of the, I believe it was, was it the courthouse or I think it was the Justice Center. Justice Center, yeah. The rioters left a severed pig head, which they had put a police hat on, and then lit the pig on fire.
Yeah.
These are the people Jerry Nadler say are a myth.
Yeah.
These are the people the Democrats refuse to condemn. Barr asked them to condemn them in his hearing. They refuse to do it.
Yep.
They are literally burning animals in front of federal buildings.
Yeah.
If
and
you
not
don't
just the whole animal, they
were
inhumane enough to cut its head off.
That isn't really inhumane. It's a pig. I don't care about that.
It's pretty inhumane.
The pig was probably dead before they did that, I imagine. Regardless,
they might not have been.
Well, that isn't the problem. The problem with me is the symbolism.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the symbolism. But I'm
saying mutilating animals
everything about
to make a political statement. And I do not understand how lighting a pig's head on fire is any fucking better than a burning cross in someone's front yard.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you not the KKK? Well, you are. That's the thing. The Antifa is the KKK. Yeah. They are the de facto enforcement wing of the Democratic Party.
Yep.
Created by the Democrats to kill people the Democrats don't like. That's the KKK.
Yeah.
Okay, so, sorry, but if anyone in the audience, and I doubt anyone did, thought Antifa had any legitimacy at all, please put that shit to rest. Look at this photo and tell me you think this is an activity that is even remotely acceptable.
Yeah, that's not. It's disgusting. It's so egregious. It's so bad.
Like, I guess it's legal. I guess it's, well, maybe not, because you're lighting a fire on public property. But regardless, I mean, whatever the deal about the law, I don't even care. It's the symbolism of it, the pure evil being expressed in this ideology is astounding.
Yeah, it really is.
And terrifying.
It's gross.
Like, everything else today has been slimy and icky and annoying. This is scary.
Yeah,
this is disturbing. Deeply, deeply disturbing.
Yeah, it is, man. It really is.
I think we've had a fruitful discussion.
Yeah.
The article for all that will be
can bring us back up from that depressing topic.
I mean, I have more alcohol, but that won't bring me up.
Shit. Well.
Hey, I know what can get us up. What?
Okay.
I have some Viagra for us.
There you go. Right. No, but in all seriousness,
no.
Actually, I don't think I've gotten
to tell you. That's a really bad way to end today. That we found out this morning, by the way, before, like literally a few minutes before we were gonna start this podcast. We threw that in last minute. Like, it's been a shit day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's only just begun. Well, actually, it's 5 p.m., but for me, it's basically just begun.
Right. Yeah. One really cool thing, I guess, that just happened. Do you remember Kyle Cashew?
Yeah.
He started his own podcast.
Neat.
Yeah. So his first guest was actually Dave Rubin.
Well, yeah, because he worked for Dave Rubin.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
You naive, arrogant, ignorant son of a bitch! How dare you?
Yeah, I know,
how
right?
dare you not have like a candlelit shrine in your closet to Kyle Cashew like the rest of us do?
Right. Yeah. No, I really do like Kyle Cashew. That dude has a really good.
Oh, I don't know anything about him really, except that he's got good views on gun stuff and he's just a more balanced person. I don't really. He was like 17 when that all happened, man. I wasn't interested in following his opinion.
Right. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna do it with David Hogg. I wasn't gonna do it with him. But if he's launched himself into a nice political career and a couple years down the line he's still putting out good content, maybe I'll pick him up.
Yeah, I'm gonna start listening to his stuff now, for sure. Because I follow him on Twitter, and dude, he brings so much light to my feed. That's great.
I do follow him on Twitter as well, but I mean, for me, my favorite person to follow on Twitter has got to be Count Dankula.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
Count Dankula's
as soon
hilarious.
as you said that, I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah. He definitely is.
He's had 3 times where he just straight up posted pictures of his balls on his Twitter feed, and no, he's gotten away with it every time.
Yeah.
And every time he does anything, sometimes he'll do just random shit, take a picture of himself, like a new shirt or whatever it is, and he's wearing sweatpants. You'll see a bunch of people red lines by his junk and being like Daddy Donkula, huge dick confirmed. I mean, it's amazing. Fucking love Count Dankula.
Yeah.
And he's an elected member of what is it, the UN? Not the... Yeah, no, it's not UN, it's the EU or something like that. EU or... he was elected by, he's a UKIP, representative for something. I think he actually holds political office.
Yeah.
If I'm correct. God damn it. Never change. I think he's Scottish, right?
I don't know.
Regardless, I'll have to double check on that. I believe he's Scottish.
Yeah.
Regardless, he's hilarious. And,
oh yeah, for sure.
His Twitter feed's hilarious. He'll just randomly put pictures of traps and whatnot. Because he's oh my god, he's so ridiculous, so out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love his Twitter feed. His Twitter feed's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That and Greg Gutfield. Greg Gutfield's pretty good too. Although the Babylon Bee is probably in terms of content, some of the best. Some of the best Twitter.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. And then as far as YouTube goes, you just showed me today The Onion. That was pretty great.
Yeah, as far as best thing on YouTube goes, that's hard.
Well, yeah, but I was just saying some other good stuff as far as that.
Well, The Onion does they're on everything too. They do articles and Twitter and whatnot. They're not just videos, but I mean. All right, I think we're hitting at about 2:45 right now. Wyatt, cool. Do you want to go ahead and take us out?
Yeah. So I just want to thank everyone who's made it this far, this episode.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks for sticking with us. Yeah, good job.
That was hard. I know. I was there.
I'm sure it was. Yeah, thank y'all for watching. Freaking hair went in my mouth. Damn it.
Pour up.
Yeah. Like you said, pour up. Comment. Comment. A lot, as much as you can. and then tell us what you thought of this episode. Tell us what you thought about these topics. Our opinions on these topics.
We'll provide a link in the description. But if any of you know how cryptocurrency works, we added a tip feature now. You can, if you want to throw us money.
Yeah. So
I honestly, cannot tell you that's a good idea, but if you'd like to.
Yeah, and we would use that to
buy
get better equipment.
Gun.
We would use that to buy better equipment. Would be the first thing.
Honestly, what we'd probably do is try and buy some nice professional like recording software. I wouldn't mind to do a software package upgrade, generally speaking.
Well, I think we should go for the mics first. That would be the best.
Well, I'm actually not too upset with my mic at the moment.
Okay, well, I need to get a new mic.
Yeah. Regardless, if any of you are interested in tipping, actually, frankly, if you tip, it's going to be in cryptocurrency. We probably won't spend the money at all. I probably am just going to save the money. Just go into basically a savings account for a little podcast for a rainy day.
Maybe.
I'll probably just let the money collect for a while, but
yeah, probably for a while, and then
I'm just testing the feature, but it's there if you'd like to try. If not, I totally understand. It's a pain in the ass to learn how to do some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube, fuck you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. But we I think we did touch on this, but we do have a YouTube channel. And yeah, we really don't want to promote it too much because
we hate it.
Yeah. It's more so just it's kind of there so that we can reach more viewers. Or at least it'll be more widely available.
That's the funny part. It's not even working.
Yeah,
there's 2 views per video.
Yeah,
I'm fairly certain one of those is us.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and sign off now. I think as far as the week is concerned, I think we covered a good deal of stuff going on.
Oh yeah.
If you feel we missed anything, please tell us. Really appreciate thoughtful conversation in the comments below, even though we've got absolutely none of it. Thanks a lot, you fucking sluts.
Yeah. Thank y'all.
Fucking cum buckets. Good God.
We really wish y'all a good week, and
no, we don't.
We'll see y'all
Screw you.
What?
Screw all of you.
Andrew.
How dare you listen to us?
Yeah, how dare you? But for real, thank y'all for watching.
This is Cinderella content. We don't actually like you. We do, but not like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye. See y'all next week.
Well, unless we're dead, of course. That would be, in which case. No,
yeah. Then obviously.
Yeah. Ideally, you'll see us next week.
Yep. Later, y'all.
If not, I'm in federal prison.